This afternoon from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, NBC Sports presents Game 4 of the 1980 World Series. The National League champions, the Philadelphia Phillies, versus the American League champions, the Kansas City Royals. Brought to you by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. By Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invite you to test drive the new 1981 Ford cars and trucks. By Gillette Astra, the pivoting head razor, the pivot makes it better. And by Pepsi Cola and your local Pepsi Cola bottler, who invite you to catch that Pepsi Spirit. Stadium in bright sunshine. Last night by night, here, Game 4, we get ready. On that shot, I just want to point out right at the top of the show, those shadows you see starting along the first base line, they will definitely be a factor for the ball players. But as far as the fans are concerned, they are ready here in Kansas City as the club won their first game and they now trail only by 1 game. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Garagiola. It is 54 degrees here, a beautiful day in Kansas City. And these Kansas City Royals and their fans are ready for the Phillies, and the Phillies are ready for them. The starting pitchers, Larry Christenson for the Phillies. It'll be Dennis Leonard for the Kansas City Royals. And 2 important people on the field, I've always felt, the catchers. Tom Seaver is talking to one of the most important ones, having a big series. Let's hear what they have to say.
Joe. With me, Bob Boone, the Golden Glove catcher of the Philadelphia Phillies. And Bob, you've seen the Kansas City Royal pitching for 3 games. What's your impression of their pitching staff?
Well, Tom, you know, we've been swinging the bat real well, so it's really tough for us to assess it. Larry Gurr did an excellent job against us the other night. Dennis Leonard, we were told, did not have his best stuff. And so far, we've been excited to hit off of this pitching staff. Quisenberry has got a tough sinking pitch we've had some success off of. But so far, we've been swinging the hot bats, and they've really not confused us too much.
This afternoon, you've got Larry Christenson going for you. You're a big right-hander. What can we expect from him?
Well, Larry's a big, strong kid that throws real hard. He's got a good breaking ball, good slider, excellent changeup, and has really fine control. And Larry's come off several injuries. Is coming off an elbow surgery this year, but came back to give us a big lift down the stretch. And I think you'll see an excellent game out of Larry Christenson.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. Tony Kubek is over here with Darryl Porter.
All right, Tom, I'm with Darryl Porter, the catcher from the Royals. And Darryl, catchers are either considered very dumb or very smart. Last night you were dumb because you allowed 15 base runners, but they were stranded. You became very smart.
No question about it. We did great. Did perfect. We really haven't been able to pitch the Phillies like we would like to pitch them. Gurr did very well the other day for 6 or 7 innings, but basically we just hadn't been able to do what we want to do.
All right, Darryl, today, Dennis Leonard, he pitched game 1. He had a 4-0 lead. All of a sudden, he lost his composure on the Boa Steel. What can we expect today?
Well, you look for a guy with his pitching capabilities. You look for him to come back and do a good job. He's got great stuff. I know it didn't look like it the other day, but everybody has their bad games, and we look forward to Denny just pretty much overpowering him today and using a good fastball. And if he can spot his fastball decent and throw that halfway decent slider, he's going to be in real good shape.
All right, Darryl, thanks to you. Good luck today. Back upstairs now to Joe Garagiola.
Okay, Tony, a couple factors in that conversation, I think, about his fastball, but they've seen Dennis Leonard. It's been one time around, and so I think that now maybe the jitters are all out. Although with the way the fans are reacting here, and again, going back to what I said last night, I think that fans, usually when they were talking about it, was always in terms of intimidation. But the Philly fans really behind their ball club were a definite factor. And last night, especially in the extra inning, these Kansas City Royal fans, a definite factor. A beautiful day here. I mentioned that. There are some clouds up there which will help the infield. They should not have any problems with pop flies. But those shadows will be a factor. But now let's go to the PA announcer for the announcements.
The stadium safety regulation prohibiting the carrying of cans, bottles, or liquid containers into Royal Stadium. Thank you. We now direct your attention to the commissioner's box at the home plate side of the Royals dugout for today's ceremonial first pitch, which will be thrown in honor of our young amateur athletes. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes, founded in 1954 by Major League Baseball and Branch Rickey, is located just across the highway from Royal Stadium. FCA strives to strengthen the moral, mental, and spiritual fiber of the greats and unsung heroes of the sports world. With us today to throw out today's ceremonial first pitch is the national president of the FCA, Mr. John Erickson. Mr. Erickson, fire away.
There you see Commissioner Bowie Kuhn. We're poised.
And now, let's meet the American League champion Royals.
The Royals take the field. Their fans cheering them. And we're getting set for the national anthem. And once again, we'll wait for the PA announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, an invitation from the Royals to stand and salute the colors as presented by the U.S. Army Color Guard with the Winnetonka High School Marching Band and Kansas City's own Marilyn May. We honor America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed in the twilight's last gleaming, the broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Kansas City's own Marilyn May, as she says, singing her only hit. We'll be right back for the start after these messages.
Where in the world are we? Now, what's this place?
Welcome to the last place on earth.
Look at all this.
Dear.
Like my boutique, cute.
Yeah, we just have traveler's checks.
Citicorp,
Yes.
love them.
Imagine Citicorp travelers checks are even accepted in the last place on earth.
Our lucky day.
Travel the world with us, Citicorp Traveler's Checks.
Introducing an American car designed for a changing world and with a commitment to quality. Introducing the beautifully new Ford Granada. Built with a new design, smaller in size, yet more spacious than ever before. Built with Granada's highest mileage ratings ever. And built with Ford's quality control system. 38 different inspectors examine every single car. the new Granada, built for a changing world from Ford.
Now comes Miller time. The flag is dropped, the race is a memory. And now you're coasting into the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you got the time, if you got the time, we got the beer, Miller beer. If you got the time.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball. Back at Royal Stadium, here is a lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies for Game 4 of this 1980 World Series. Leading off, Lonnie Smith in left field. Batting second, the first baseman, Pete Rose. Batting third, the right fielder, Bake McBride. Batting cleanup, third base, Mike Schmidt. Dale Unser is the designated hitter. Center fielder, Gary Maddox. Second base, Manny Trio. Shortstop, Larry Boa. And then the catcher, Bob Boone.
And now we'll take a look at the defensive alignment behind Dennis Leonard. Willie Wilson in left, Amos Otis in center, Clint Hurdle in right field, George Brett at third, U.L. Washington at short, Frank White at second base, Willie Mays Aikens at first, Darrell Porter the catcher, Dennis Leonard the pitcher.
Dennis Leonard, the 20-game winner for the Kansas City Royals during the regular season. You see his stats there. 111 with a 3.79 ERA. Pitched just 3 2/3 innings in Game 1 of this World Series. Leonard is 6'1", 190, 29 years old. A real workhorse. Pitched 280 innings, as you see. 271 hits. That's a pretty good innings pitch to hit ratio. But you see is a righting fastball and a good slider. Dennis got a little rattled in Game 1, and Billy Connors, the pitching coach, said he sat down and talked with Dennis, and what he's going to do is go right after the hitters today. Try to be more aggressive, keep his mind on exactly what he's supposed to do on the mound.
Right now, Tom and Joe, Dallas Green, Bobby Wine went out to home plate. They went to home plate umpire Don Denkinger, and they were pointing out to center field. There's Green. Apparently, some of the hitters feel that the cameras beneath our NBC camera in center field on the ledge, but the ones below that have some kind of glare that may reflect into the eyes of the hitters. So Denkinger now is going out with the people hanging over the railing. He will probably request the PA man to say, hey, some of you get down. It's too distracting to the hitters.
Tony, last night we had some problems. Ron Luciano was talking about it when Bill Kunkel came in from right field. Ron went to Kunkel to find out what that was all about last night.
Yeah, what happened was we thought something was going on in the dugout, and what it was, they had a monitor in there. Every team tapes their batter, every swing he makes, and their pitcher, every pitcher he pitches. But that's not supposed to be in the dugout because they might steal signs or something. But here in a World Series, there's no place else to put it. There's no room behind home plate, and there's no room in the photographer's bench. And so what they had it in the dugout. And Paul Pryor kept saying, they're not doing anything. Will you leave it alone? They're not doing anything. They're not seeing anything. Kunkel says, hey, they're yelling at me down there from the bullpen because they can see what's going on. So let's remove it. And today they removed it. We won't have any of that trouble.
Now, they're not going to blame NBC for having theirs in it. Now, I just want you to repeat nice and slow, like all good umpires talk, and tell us whose monitor it was.
It was not NBC. It was the Phillies' own tape machine.
Sensational work, Ron. As we look at the ballpark, the dimensions, 330 down the line. Tricky corners here in this ballpark, Tony.
It sure is, and while they are removing the camera that somebody put up today, we'll look at it. Somebody apparently added a camera out there that was distracting the hitters, or they thought might. When NBC goes in and any of the other networks, they request camera positions for the best shots for you viewers so that they will not also obstruct the play of the game. And somebody else added a camera there, and it is being removed. And there the NBC camera way up on top on the ledge. Those shots that you get that Joe often asks for, and Tom Seaver, where you can see the pitcher's signs and the movement on the ball. That's the shot you would get. So it's taking a while with this delay to get the game underway while they take down the camera. And Joe, we talked about some of the factors why this ballpark might favor against right-handed pitching, the Royals. You might add another one today because most of their power is from the left side, and the wind is blowing out slightly to right field. A little bit of a crosswind. It will help balls in the right field corner.
So a little bit of a delay here. The commissioner was just on the phone. There you see him sitting down next to his wife, Louisa. Commissioner talking. Dick Butler was talking to him. There you see his wife. And Fred Silverman, NBC, and his wife, Kathy, here watching the ball game, getting ready. World Series, everything is magnified, and I think so far the record for the most magnification was the fact that Maddox had 10 to 15 centimeters of water on his knee after being hit with the foul tip. If that doesn't get your day started for you, nothing will. Steve Carlton is holding a press conference as he looks up and just waves to us.
Well, the umpires in today's ball game, the man behind home plate, Don Dinkinger. Look at the line he extended. Back of the batter's box. We'll show you that more closely later. There it is. When that line at the back of the batter's box gets obliterated, he's got something else to go for. But I got to believe the hitters are going to wipe that out in a hurry, too. But it's Dinkinger behind the plate. First base, Dutch Renner. Second base, Nick Bremigan. Third base, Harry Wendelstadt. Left field, Bill Kunkel. Right field, foul line, Paul Pryor.
The camera that's being removed is a wire service camera. We get that from Tom Valenti of the commissioner's office, the official word. Everything is official at the World Series. And there they go. Well, we got a chance here. Following the World Series, we got a great fight coming up on Sports World. Yaki Lopez against undefeated Michael Spinks. That's going to be live. It's a 10-round light heavyweight fight. And then you'll see some bowling. So right after the ball game on Sports World, 4 o'clock Eastern time, following this game right here on NBC. Leonard taking some extra tosses. Mike Schmidt trying to cut down on the glare. Doesn't seem to be much glare. Those clouds that are up there, Tony, I know I used to love to see them, and infielders used to call them little angels up there. That's when that sky is just a bright blue, but that sky is not a tough sky.
Tommy, let me ask you this. Dennis Leonard came out of the bullpen, took his normal warm-up, whether it's 12, 15 minutes. Now he's all psyched up, keen to throw the first pitch. This happens. What effect on him?
Well, you could see him right there talking to the home plate umpire. He had a little smile on his face. And I think one of the things that Dennis wants to do today is not get upset at things like this. He got upset in game 1, tried to pick somebody off, threw the ball away. Just keep your cool out there, and you still have your job to do. And whenever you get started, you're going to go ahead and do it. And with a little smile, I think you could tell that he did keep his cool.
So we're ready to go. The first pitch to Lonnie Smith. Foul, not a play. He doesn't wait very long. Smith 0 for 1, hitting at 364.
I think one thing the Phillies will find out today about Leonard, he throws a little bit harder than he did the other day in Philadelphia.
George Brett. They got him.
George, after last night having to run a couple of times, came out this morning, said he is in pretty good shape, feels no pain.
Leonard throwing a slider here, looks like. Lonnie Smith tried to stop his swing, and a little courtesy hopper down to George Brett and fired him out very easily.
1 out, Pete Rose. One for 11. Ball 1. Out of play, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Royals have been giving Pete Rose a steady diet of hard stuff on the inside part of the plate the last couple of games. Pete still with just the 1 hit that he got in the series last night, which drove in a run, broke his bat on that base hit, something that Pete Rose rarely does. But it'll be interesting to see if Leonard continues to throw him hard stuff.
That was hard stuff. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Up the middle, Frank White, good play. Didn't get it. Goes into the dugout. Akins missed it. Porter tried to keep it from going into the dugout, could not, and Rose gets an extra base. See how they score it.
What looked like going to turn out to be a sensational play. Frank White off balance. This ball has got to be at least stopped by Willie Mays Akins. But it may have scooted on the dirt. Darrell Porter hustled as hard as he could. Here's a different angle on it from right field. This will show you the range of Frank White. Goes behind second base. It's got to be stopped. And when Darrell Porter tried to stop the ball, sliding on his legs, it went into the dugout. So it'll be an error charge, I'm assuming, to Frank White.
You can forget the assumption. It was charged to him, Tony. High fly ball. Wilson coming in. Makes the play. 2 outs. Rose credited with the hit. Gets the second on the error. There you see him. Here is Mike Schmidt. Ball game just underway. Smith bounced out. Rose hit a ground ball, and White made a great backhanded play. Threw it past the first baseman. Rose is on second. McBride is just flying to left. You haven't missed a thing. Schmidt with 1 home run. Outside, ball 1.
The statement that Mike Schmidt made the other day after having seen Leonard one time, that they will finally see a National League type pitcher. He was referring to Rich Gale. Gale throws hard, but I think, as I said before, Leonard did not throw hard his first outing. He has good breaking stuff, but he may surprise him with their fastball.
It's fouled out of play. We got a reading yet on that famous radar gun?
My buddy Paul Moscow over here tells me 90. We got a 90 down there.
90.
Not too bad.
So he's throwing pretty good. Use Dallas Green's expression, not too shabby. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Shaking off a number of pitches.
I'm tennis pro Tracy Austin.
I'm pro photographer Arthur Grace.
To some, I'm still a schoolgirl. To others, I'm a tough competitor.
My Canon AE1 captures the 2 Tracy Austins. The telephoto lens shows how hard she works. The portrait lens shows how soft she is.
Here, your turn, Tracy.
Okay.
The AE1 makes it easy to shoot like a pro. The incomparable Canon AE1. So advanced, it's simple.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trouble spots like these are what separate Gillette Atra from all ordinary razors. The reason? The Atra pivot. It keeps the blades at a perfect shaving angle, giving you a better shave than any razor that can't pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many more reasons do you need? Gillette Atra, the pivot makes it better.
Gillette, when it comes to shaving, we give you the edge.
And the Kansas City Royals, who won their first game last night, here is their starting lineup. Leading off, Willie Wilson in left field. Second baseman Frank White bats second. Batting third, George Brett. In the cleanup spot, Willie Akins. Designated hitter is Hal McRae. Center field, Amos Otis, a hot hitter. Right field, Clint Hurdle. The catcher is Darrell Porter. and the shortstop, UL Washington.
Defensively for Philadelphia, Dal Unser in left, Gary Maddox in center, Bake McBride in right, Mike Schmidt at third, Larry Bowe at short, Manny Trio the second baseman, Pete Rose at first, Bob Boone the catcher, and Larry Christenson the pitcher. And Joe, as the lineups were taken up to home plate, we'd gotten the word just before the game started. The original lineup had Lonnie Smith in left and Unser DHing. Now, Dallas Green finally caught what he had done, and he finds out that he can play the man there. Unser, who's a much better outfielder than Lonnie Smith in left field, so he changed those spots. He has made Unser the left fielder and Lonnie Smith his DH.
Larry Christenson, the pitcher for the Phillies today, 5-1. He had elbow surgery early in the year and came back off of that elbow surgery very quickly. Pitched just 73 2/3 innings, 6'4", 215 pounds, just 26 years old, a big, strong man. You'll see an overpowering fastball at times, good riding fastball with good control, and an outstanding slider. There's a curveball on occasion, a changeup on occasion, just maybe 6 or 8 times a game, but mainly you see a very good fastball and an outstanding slider.
Willie Wilson, they've been able to get him by keeping the ball in on his hands. Let's see how Larry goes. Right down the middle. Strike one. Good fastball. You can hear that ball pop all the way up here. This is grip. 1-1. He chokes up on that bat. He just needs to hit the ball to where it touches the ground twice, and he's got himself a base hit. Two balls, one strike. Base hit. He's on.
Now the excitement will start around first base with Christenson. As I recall, Christenson has a little trick move with that knee. There it is. He fights off the pitch. Got it in on him like they wanted to. Maybe not far enough in, Tom. Maybe they wanted off the plate, but he did fight it off the left.
He got behind Willie Wilson and had to throw a fastball. Looked like it was right down the middle of the plate, but this will be an interesting situation at first base, Tony. Christenson does have a very good move, and of course Willie Wilson, the outstanding base runner in the American League.
White is the batter, and Boone may have noticed something in Wilson's running because he was ready to double pitch out. There's the move. It gets high all the way to right field. He may go to third. He will go to third. And if they don't hurry, he'll score.
Snap throw, pickoff move. You can see what Tom Seaver told you. That ball beat you to hat. Ball hits his glove. Wilson did not come back diving. The ball went off Pete's glove and then through Wilson's leg, and he tore around the bases to third base.
Strike one. Good fastball. Willie Wilson makes it happen. White. 2 for 12, a 167 average. Strike two. The error goes to the pitcher, so both teams have errors. Blocked nicely by Boone. First inning, they gave an error to Frank White, and now Christenson has it. Boone really does a good job of blocking the ball. If you get your body in front of it and keep the ball from going behind you, you've done the job. He usually ends up catching him. Look at that, right in front of it. And hitting a couple times, but no one can advance. Good play. Popped up, foul territory, it'll be out of play. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Phillies are going to give up the run. They're playing back in the infield as we look at Willie Wilson.
There's a possibility a bang-bang play down to Schmidt at third base or Rose at first. They may try. They may try if they look like they're going to play on Wilson.
There's the defense back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The on-deck hitter, the franchise, George Brett. And a hot water bottle. Outside. Count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I've seen batters do all kinds of things. Hot water bottles, keep their bats in the sauna. Short right field, Bake McBride. Wilson tagging up. He starts up holes as throw comes in.
And you can see how Bake McBride knew the speed of Willie Wilson at third, because he wasted no time to get that ball back. And Wilson has been outstanding scoring his run fly ball.
McBride played the ball very well, Tony. A 3-2 pitch fastball out over the plate. White popped it up to right field. McBride got behind the ball where he could set his feet, go through the ball, and make a good throw to home, good strong throw to home. And I think if Wilson had tried to score, he'd have been out.
Would not have been a very bright play had he tried to score with this fella coming up, because here's a fella drove in more runs in games he played. George Brett. Outside. He had 118 RBIs during the season. He played in 117 games. Walt Dropo, the only other player in the league to do that. Dropo played 136 games with 144 RBIs. Tapped foul.
Defensively in the infield, as Jose Martinez throw the ball out. They throw balls out more often on artificial surface, get scuffed. But look at the infield. Left side playing in for play at the plate. Trio is back, and Rose is in.
1 ball, 1 strike on George Brett. 1 man out. Bottom of the first, no score. Base hit. Extra bases. At least a double. He's digging hard. He's going to go for 3, and he'll make it. And he slid.
Here it is. Tom, this man hits more good pitches than anybody in the American League. Wasn't down enough, but it was down and in, a breaking pitch, and he showed the kind of speed he's got. Here he comes, second to third, he slides. Said he was going to try head first. Not that time.
He slid a little bit more on his side than he usually does, and came up with a grin on his face. So everything is in working order. 1-0, Royals lead. Willie Mays Aikens, and now the infield has moved in. It's fouled back. 1 strike.
They continue to give Willie Mays Aikens the right field line. He got the game-winning RBI last night to left center field. So they've got him stacked right, but he's been able to find the holes.
Aikens, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in, 5 for 12. And there they go again with the line as we look at the defense.
Look at Maddox toward left center. Right center field is McBride.
Well hit, way back. This is maybe out of here. It is. Look at Willie Mays Aikens. He's just now at first base.
McBride, you see him, and he really crushed that ball. Aikens just has come out of the Royals dugout and given the fans a wave. Here's George Brett's reaction from third base. He knows it's gone.
McRae, 1 ball and 1 strike. Aikens, a red-hot hitter. He won the game last night. Now hitting .462. 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. 2-1 to count. Base hit. He stretches it. How about that?
Gary Maddox nonchalants them all, and you saw today for the first time the way the Royals have played all season long. He took his time in center field, Maddox, and look what McRae did. These guys bust out right out of the batter's box. They don't wait till their first base before they start moving.
There was a case of literally stealing a base on an outfielder. And last night they won their first game, and they have really come out. And you heard Jim Fry tell Brian Gumbel, as we look at Hal McRae, if we can score a couple runs early, it's going to be tough. Well, they have done that.
A Pete Rose trick. Rose always used the expression, as we see McRae sliding again, my stolen bases come when I hit a single and turn it into a double. And McRae may have learned that from him too, Tommy.
So it's 3-0, 1 man out. The batter is Amos Otis, hitting at .545. Fouled out of play. Otis has 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. He's 7 for 13. The Philadelphia bullpen up. As these Kansas City Royals there, Dickie Knowles loosening up. Christenson, a single by Wilson, a triple by Brett, a home run by Aikens, a double by McRae. The Royals have really come out of the chute. Well hit, deep to right field, going way back, off the wall. McRae rounding third, he'll score. Otis stops at second, 4-0.
Here's Otis swing, McRae at second base. McRae goes back initially, might have been a slider or a cut fastball. Right field, Gary Maddox, as the ball hits the wall, mishandles it a little bit, but he wasn't going to get McRae anyway. There he starts bobbling it around. So McRae circles third base and comes on home. They had better stall for time out in the mound, which Pete Rose is doing, and let Dickie Knowles get good and loosed. They have hit some shots.
You might want to watch now the change in attitude. Remember, the Kansas City Royals led 4-0 in the first game. Dallas Green is coming out now. The 4-0 lead looked like Kansas City was going to blow Philadelphia out in that first game, and those Phillies came roaring back. It'll be an interesting just to watch to see the change in attitude.
Hey, all 3 games have been crazy. The first 2 ball games, you might have thought, as Green waves to the bullpen, they were Kansas City's the way the game went. Last night, Phillies strand 15. You say, hey, that ought to be their game. We've had 3 like that. Could happen again.
And we're going to have a pitching change. And we've got a break in the action, but we've got plenty of fireworks when we come back.
You take 1,000 hearts up here with you. Make them skip a beat. Then take them back down to Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer.
When it's time to relax,
Miller High Life.
one beer stands clear. If you've got time, we've got the beer.
When I was a kid working this old gas pump, I never thought I'd be back here telling you that Pennzoil saves gasoline. But now, that same Pennzoil that protects your engine saves you gas. Pennzoil has added gas savings to their regular multi-weight oils, and they've done it at their regular price. That way, more people can afford to save gas.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
This class trip's great. That would burn our school down.
That's one reason Sentry Insurance built the Sentry Laboratories, to help our customers avoid trouble.
Like fires?
Like lots of things.
They have as many tests as we do.
Sentry works hard at helping our customers do things more safely.
Your customers must like that.
And it helps attract new customers. Sentry likes that.
The Sentry family of companies for all your insurance needs.
On NBC Sports World, see the Michael Spinks Yaki Lopez Slugfest, the world's top bowlers and the legends of bowling, plus a World Series update later today.
The Royals have hit Larry Christenson very hard. 5 hits and 4 runs here, still in the bottom of the first inning. The last time Larry Christenson pitched was in the playoffs against the Astros. That was in relief, and he got hit very hard. In the game that he started against the Astros, he pitched very well, but the last 2 times out have been very tough on Larry Christenson, and obviously you can tell the frustration that he carries right now.
New pitcher now. Dickie Knowles has come on to face left-hander Clint Hurdle. And middle relief is not quite as important with a designated hitter. You don't go to it, I don't think, quite as often. But when you look at Philadelphia, they've got McGraw in short relief, Carlton starting from left side, and Soche, who they use in short relief at times. They better come up with somebody else somewhere that can go a few middle innings in situations like this from the left side.
Outside. Ball 1. 12 total bases in this inning for the Kansas City Royals. Bat rack really juiced up today. Ball 2. There's the on-deck batter, Darrell Porter. Curveball misses, ball 3. This will be Hurdle is number 7 and 12 total bases, 4 runs in. So it looks like Kansas City a good chance to bat around, only 1 man out. First base on balls for Kansas City. And the batter is Darrell Porter. Porter looking for his first base hit. He's 0 for 7. Open stance, a pull hitter. Wind is blowing out. There's his strike. Strike 2 on the outside corner. Trying to keep that ball as we look at Otis at second. Hurdle is at first. Keep that ball on the outside corner, hoping that he will pull it, hit the ground ball to the second baseman trio. Didn't get the curveball out on strikes. A good curveball. So there are 2 away, and here's the 9th man to bat in this inning, UL Washington.
UL Washington. Shortstop.
A big inning for Kansas City. A single by Wilson, a throwing error, trying to pick him off, send him to third. A triple by Brett, send him in. A home run by Akins. A double by McRae. A double by Otis. 4-0. Bouncing ball up the middle, cut off by Boa. The throw, not in time.
Larry Boa saves a run. That runner from second base can't score. Another artificial surface hit. He saved a run, didn't get it out, but it could turn out to be a big play before it's over with. Showed nice range, Tommy.
Excellent range on the AstroTurf. Larry getting off a good throw, but Washington certainly does run very well.
Play might have been to second base the easiest play, but neither man was there. Trio is going after the same ball. Nobody covering.
Wilson takes outside, ball 1. In the pregame interview with Brian Gumbel, Jim Fry, the manager, used the expression rabbits, and this is a royal attack. This is the kind of rally. The rabbits run and the big guys hit. 2 balls, no strikes. Or in my day, they would say the nits and the gnats bite you, the lions and tigers will eat you. All the base runners are on. Otis at third, Hurdle at second, Washington at first. 2 outs. Bouncing ball. Rose will have to run hard. Race by Knowles. Got him. That guy's exciting, hitting a bouncing ball into first baseman. Inning ends. Crowd reacts on their feet.
Dickie Knowles came close to not getting over in time. Dutch Leonard, first base umpire, has 2 very close calls. What's the 2 feet? You bet. Beat him by about 2 inches only.
So at the end of a complete inning here, the score, Kansas City 4, Phillies nothing.
You're the Pepsi generation, the spirit of today. And with every taste of life that's new, well, that Pepsi spirit shines right through. It's that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in.
Picking and choosing the right investments requires very careful handling. One wrong move can easily damage the best laid plans. At Merrill Lynch, we know that size and strength can be very valuable. But it is our sensitivity to your investment goals and agility in helping you reach them that makes us what we are. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
Introducing a car that combines the brain power of German engineers, Japanese engineers, American engineers. Introducing a world car. The new Ford Escort, built in America with better ideas from around the world. Higher gas mileage ratings than Rabbit, Accord, Corolla hatchback. Yet roomier inside. With 4-wheel independent suspension, front-wheel drive. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
Tomorrow, start your day with NFL 80, followed by heavy-hitting AFC action featuring the Battling Bills versus the Never Say Die Dolphins. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Royals with 4 runs home in the first, bases loaded. As soon as Pete Rose backed up on this ball hit by Willie Wilson, you'll see why they call him the fastest man in baseball, as Dickie Knowles, and a great call by Dutch Leonard, just barely got the foot down in the head of Wilson.
It's a great shot because Knowles' foot came down while Wilson's foot was in the air. That's how close that was. There's a strike to Del Unser. And now Leonard with a 4-run cushion. Used to be you would just throw strikes, but you can't very well do that to this Phillies ball club. They can come from behind, and if that's not an understatement. Looper, left field. Wilson's coming in. He's there. Willie Wilson, described as the most disruptive, productive concentration breaker in baseball. And I'll buy that, I'll tell you. Here's Maddox. Ball 1. Maddox 2 for 10, takes inside, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. No home runs, 1 run batted in, hitting at 200. Wide stance. Looper, right field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Hurdle plays it on a big hop. Maddox is on.
Does this situation look familiar? Game 1, 1 out. Kansas City leading by 4. Boa stole second base, surprised everybody, and shook up Leonard. Not Boa on first, but it's Gary Maddox. See how Hurdle waited back on that ball in this artificial surface so it wouldn't bound over his head. Guys don't try for as many shoestring catches on those little loopers on this stuff.
Perfect example last night when Lonnie Smith tried it in left field and Aikens ended up with a triple.
Line foul.
Did you notice, or was it my imagination, how much more closely and how much more time Leonard took watching the base runner at first base?
Well, that memory of Boa running, trailing by 4, you gotta believe, forget the scoreboard, just assume it's 0-0 if you're Porter and Leonard. But Leonard took a lot of time looking because they will run. They have been running. Fouls it back. Manny Trio, high fastball. Trio 3 for 11, hitting at 273. 1 run batted in. Kansas City 4, Philadelphia nothing. Top of the second. 1 out, 2 strikes to count on Trio as we look at Dennis Leonard. Different angle with our handheld camera, looking right down that right field line. That gap between first and second. Trio tried to punch one through there. Good lead by Maddox. I'll tell you, that's the second time Trio's done that, and he's going to cash in all his dance tickets. He's not going. His bunions have to be hurting as we look at Maddox.
There it is, a high pitch. It's an unusual one for a guy that's about belt high to chop off his foot. Usually it's that down and in sinker, right-hander to right-hander. Maddox is getting a good lead off first base, but he doesn't seem to be leading towards second.
Ground ball, could be 2. There's 1. Nope. Into the stands again. And on the second base goes Trio. Low throw. It'll be an error on UL Washington.
Be an error on UL Washington, but watch the way Frank White, very unlike him, shuffled the ball with 2 hands. Look at this. You barehand the ball. I got to believe that may have fooled Washington a little bit. And of course, he's got the runner Maddox, who got a good jump bearing down. So it'll be an error on UL Washington. Here, Tommy, from left center field. It's Maddox.
You know, one of my roommates in the big leagues has been Buddy Harrelson, who was an outstanding shortstop for the New York Mets, now playing in Texas. One of the things he told me he always liked from his infielders or from a pitcher on a double play is to get the ball firmly at second base so you can have a good feel of it when you do get a hold of it.
Left field, Wilson coming in hard, going out Washington. Here's a throw, trying to score Trio. He'll make it. It gets by Porter. Boa is rounding second. He'll hold on. Trio was coming all the way. It's a 4-1 ball game. I tell you, a 4-run lead is not safe with this ball club.
So the error on UL Washington hurts. Willie Wilson does not make a good throw. As shallow as he was playing, he took too much time right there, and then he throws the ball offline. And Leonard was not backing up Porter, so they made a few mistakes on one play. Watch how much time he takes. He's got to throw that man out. I think the reports probably said as you saw Leonard, he wasn't back at home plate in time. Talked about Willie Wilson. His arm is not very strong. It's average.
Here is Bob Boone. It's a strike. The scoring on that play, Boa gets his single, obviously, credit him with an RBI, and takes second on the throw. No error. Bob Boone. Outside.
You know, one of the things, Tony, that I've noticed now going into Game 4, of all the people that I've talked to around the American League people, the American League writers, they've told me that this Kansas City club does the fundamentals correctly, that they do the fundamentals very well. And there's many, many times during this series I haven't seen it. They have not done the fundamentals well.
You're right, they haven't.
High, 2 balls and 1 strike. The on-deck batter, you saw him with Lonnie Smith. His Phillies ball club, they do one great fundamental. They can come from behind. Here comes the pitching coach, Billy Connors.
Tom, you know, there was no error charged on that when the ball got by Boa, and I know earned run averages don't mean a thing in World Series play. But that is unfair because the runner's in second base. Should he score, it's a run charge to Leonard. That team air concept they talked about, you got to give it there to somebody for over the sake of the long haul. I think for a pitcher's ERA.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, 4-1. Bull is at second base. We're in the top of the second. Fastball misses. 3-1.
Joe, Billy Connors went out. Did you look at Larry Bow? Billy Connors went out to talk to Dennis Leonard. What Leonard will have a tendency to do sometimes incorrectly on the mound is to drop his elbow and start getting the ball up high in the strike zone.
Well hit. Brett is there. The throw in time, and that ends the inning. The Phillies score 1 run. So as we go into the bottom half of the second inning to score here, Kansas City Royals 4, Philadelphia Phillies 1, and 2 up for Kansas City: Frank White, George Brett, and Willie Aikens.
Ray, your people were terrific, as usual.
Thank you. I'm Ray Jacoby. I manage this Ramada. Like many other Ramadas, we've done a big remodeling job. New rooms, new restaurant, new lounge. But what impresses him? Our people, as usual.
And Ray, like what you've done to the place. Looking good.
Nice people taking care of nice people. Ramada all over the world.
It looks like a small, handsome, leather-bound book, but open it up. It's the world's finest instant camera, a single-lens reflex that will focus itself with sound waves. Honest, that's what it does. Now you can forget all the mechanics and look for the unusual picture. You'll see it right through the lens just before you shoot. And the camera hands it to you, beautifully sharp, even in close. Now look, no other camera can do that. Polaroid's SX70 sonar. It's time you own the best of something.
Harry, you've been gone for hours. Didn't they have a muffler for your car?
I should have gone to Midas.
Did you get a guarantee this time?
I should have gone to Midas.
So how much did you spend?
I should have gone to Midas.
Before you go anywhere else for a muffler, come to Midas, and you won't go anywhere else.
So tell me, Harry, how come you didn't go to Midas?
It pays to Midasize.
Four to 1, Kansas City leading. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. Kansas City came out of the chute, but so did the Phillies. Greg Luzinski, who had that viral infection, is here with the ball club. He is not playing. And let's get a report from Merle Harmon.
All right, Joe. Bill Giles is the executive vice president of the Phillies. Where's the Bull?
Well, the Bull wants to play, but he's feeling still a little weak from that influenza. I think he might be in there pinch hitting before the game's over, and he'll be ready to play tomorrow.
All right, he was the DH in Philadelphia. Isn't the DH ideally suited for him?
Yes, I think it is. He's not that great a defensive player, and I think the DH is a good position for him.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Now back up to the booth.
Strike 1 to count on Frank White.
That was Philadelphia party line as we look at the Royals. Talked to the Bull before the game. He said, if there's Dallas Green, if I'm not playing, if Dallas Green thinks somebody's better than I, fine. But he should at least tell me why I'm not playing. Remember, Luzinski had 2 game-winning RBIs in the championship series, a home run and a double against the Astros.
Center field, coming in hard, Maddox. He's there, 1 out. Tony, I don't want to belabor the point, but it sounded like when you talked to Luzinski, he might have been a touch upset.
Oh, was he? You talked to him also, didn't you, Tom?
I talked to him, Tony, and I would say he was a little bit more than a touch upset. He wants to play, and he's a little irritated not being in the lineup, for sure.
And it could be, as we look at George Brett, it could be that the Bull heard everything we said because he's not on the bench, so he's probably in the clubhouse watching the game. Hope you feel better, Bull. George Brett, what a hitter. A triple his first time up. Brett, I don't know what you can say about this guy. 6'11". Takes it low, ball 1, comes off what they called minor surgery. Hits a home run his first time up after the surgery. Triple this time. Hard hit. Nice play by Trio. That is what is known in the major leagues as a hard out.
The first baseman, Willie Aikens.
Manny Trio, one of the smoothest fielding second basemen in the National League, with a whip-like arm. I love to watch him throw. Looks like he's never going to get rid of it, and then pop, perfect throw to Pete Rose.
Here is the man of the hour. Last night, it was his base hit that won it. He also had a triple, scored. Had 2 home runs in Philadelphia. Hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Ball 1, Willie Aikens. Aikens with 17 total bases, leading all hitters. 7 runs batted in. Now that's what I call a Kansas City fan with a billboard yet. 1-1 pitch. Dickie Knowles in relief for the Phillies outside, 2-1. Well hit, deep to right field, another one. He's not even left home plate. He was watching it much like Reggie Jackson. Here is Hal McRae. 5-1 to score. Ball 1. You'd think that Willie Aikens was on Broadway taking all those curtain calls coming out. Here I am.
In all the pre-World Series hype and analysis, the edge and speed was given to the Royals, power to Philadelphia. It is now 7-2 in home runs in favor of the Royals.
Willie Aikens, his second home run. He hit 2 in Philadelphia, and when he hits a home run, he really likes to look at it. I don't blame him. 2-1 pitch inside. He only regrets not being able to watch himself hit.
Well, he knows it is gone. Breaking ball right down in the middle of the plate. You might have seen the flinch of Bob Boone, and Aikens stood there for what, 3-4 seconds before he moved.
He enjoyed it. Right field, base hit, McRae, and watch him go. Here he goes. He's going to try it again, and he makes it.
Slider up, and you can see how he made this double as he broke from the shoot. McBride played it pretty quickly this time, unlike Maddox, but they've got a scouting report of these arms. And there goes McRae. What is that, the 6th extra base hit for the Royals? They've got the juice turned on, don't they?
The difference in the attitude. Remember, they led 4-0 in Philadelphia, and they seem to say, well, that's enough, but they are really good. This is Kansas City Royals brand of baseball right here. Otis, ball 1, it's aggressive. Hal McRae has hit what would amount to a single for most ball players, and he has just literally stolen a base on 2 different outfielders. Maddox in the first inning, and here on McBride. He doesn't stop. He gets to first base and makes a left turn going one way. Fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Aggressive base running, aggressive hitting, power hitting by Willie Aikens.
As Whitey Herzog did when he had this club, Jimmy Fry said the same thing. Do not be afraid to make mistakes of over-aggressiveness on the bases. If you get thrown out, I'll take the heat. So they don't fear running bases.
That's a Branch Rickey statement. Prefer the errors of enthusiasm to the complacency of wisdom. High fly ball, right field. McBride is there. Ends the inning with the Royals. Another run. Tremendous home run by Willie Aikens at the end of 2 to score. Royals 5, Phillies 1. There was the man of the hour coming out of the dugout. And take a look at this home run that he hits once more. Watch it in the corner. There it comes. And he thoroughly enjoys it. He dropped the bat and says, I want to see it too. So there's the score at the end of 2. 2 up, Smith, Rose, McBride. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Is America strong enough to fight a war? Reagan and Carter disagree. John Chancellor's interviews with both the Republican and Democratic candidates continue Monday on NBC Nightly News.
At Budget Rent-A-Car, you're #1.
I'm sure glad I switched to Budget. Their low rates really save me money, and Budget's located right inside most airports, so it's just as fast and convenient.
At Budget, you're #1.
When my company told me to rent from Budget, I thought I'd have to give up the service I'm used to just to save money. But frankly, Budget, you won me over.
At Budget, you're #1.
Of California's 422 different banks and savings and loans, none pays higher interest on 26-week $10,000 Treasury certificates than Wells Fargo. What's more, no savings and loan or bank can match Wells Fargo's reward for serious savers. Highest rate on Treasury certificates, first-rate service. Wells Fargo Bank comes through with both.
At night in New York, all the stars come out.
Introducing I Love New York at Night show tours. 23 star-studded packages.
I love New York at night. There's something in the air.
United Airlines loves New York, too. So we fly the most wide bodies. And it's only $129 in the friendly skies.
Interview with Henry Kissinger, 6:30 Sunday on News Conference.
Well, yesterday we had some 42,000, and with that shot we see there from the Goodyear Blimp America with Captain John Moran, it looks like we got a jam-packed ballpark just judging from the parking lot. And what a ball game. Lonnie Smith, ball 1. I tell you, Willie Aikens imitating Reggie Jackson in many ways by watching the ball as Smith hits a high hopper to Brett. And who can ever forget, talking about Jackson, those 3 home runs he had against the Dodgers? Will Willie Aikens do that today?
As I recall, he hit those 3 home runs on 3 swings, 3 consecutive swings, didn't he?
I don't know, but he hit them a long way, and those 2 that Willie Aikens has hit are really not cheapies. Pete Rose with 1 out, nobody on. He was safe in the first inning. Had an infield hit, went to second on an error. Strike. One ball, 1 strike.
Leonard said before the game, Joe, that he may have paid too much attention to the scouting reports that he got and gotten away from his type of ball game. The good aggressive, good hard stuff, good slider. He said he's going to try and get everything out of his mind, just pitch his ball game today, not really go by those scouting reports.
2 balls and 1 strike. So really he made his own fatal mistake, because you still have the ball. You get the information, but you have to do it.
The pitcher's the one that has to make the decision about going about getting your job done.
2 balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Didn't mean to swing a foul ball. That's when I used to get upset when pitchers would say he called for it. As a catcher, you merely suggest. Bunyan Head out there has got the ball. Oh,
We're now Bunyan Heads. Huh?
You didn't get much sleep last night, did you?
2 balls and 2 strikes. Line drive, left field. Wilson plays him perfectly. He's in.
That is not an easy outfield spot when the sun comes out as it is now. Remember Bucky Dent and Lou Piniella in the championship series here where they lost the ball?
So there are 2 outs, and we got Sports World following our ball game. A pretty good fight. Michael Spinks, I tell you, he's coming on strong. This will be a tremendous stepping stone if he can win it, but he's got a dandy to go against, Yaki Lopez. It'll be following our game here, 4 o'clock Eastern time, Sports World. McBride takes it low, and it's ball 1.
They're yelling at Dinkinger. That's why he's looking over to the Royals dugout, because they said that McBride bunted at him. He was just waving, trying to be distracted.
2 balls, no strikes. It is low, 3-0. Leonard walking around. Don't be in a hurry to lose, be in a hurry to win. Joe McCarthy used to say. 3 balls, 1 strike.
First time, Joe, all day that he's gotten 3 balls on the hitter. Leonard has shown very good control today. First time he's gone to 3-0. First time to 3-1.
Walked him.
The third baseman, Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt. 2 men out. Base runner at first, McBride. The score, Royals 5, Phillies 1. Sun has really come out. I mean, it is bright now. Shadows starting to creep towards the infield. Not a factor yet. McBride holding. Schmidt takes it high. There's the readout on the radar gun. 89 miles per hour. He's throwing pretty good. We had the other one at 90.
Is that average or better than average, Tom?
I would say that's right about average for a good hard thrower. Not a Tommy John type of sinker ball pitcher, but for a fastball pitcher, anywhere in the 88 to 90, 91 mile an hour range, that's throwing the ball very well.
There you see the insert. You'll see how fast he's throwing it, and if he hits the ball, Schmidt does, you'll see how fast it goes off the bat. Breaking ball.
The 56, you see, was the catcher's throwback. We got him covered every which way.
I tell you, this game is getting so scientific. What happened to the guy that played good old country hardball and fired it? That's an STS gun, spherical tracking system. And if you can't pitch, it won't help you. Foul straight back. Look at that number. 91, the hardest he's thrown.
Tom, is the variance in his speeds, the fact that he might ride a fastball, might take off and then turn a fastball over, try and sink it, that would be the little bit slower one?
Leonard throws 2 kinds of fastballs, the sinking and the riding fastball. He can be overpowering at times, and the harder the fastballs, that last one over 90 miles an hour, would be the riding fastball. That's why Schmidt got under it, hit the bottom half of the ball, and fouled it back over our heads. And the other sinking fastball would be in the 88 to 90, 89 mile an hour range.
There, false start. Looked like he was going, McBride, as Schmidt fouls it off. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 5-1. Kansas City leading 3rd inning.
The first person that I'd heard of who used the radar equipment was a college coach, Danny Litweiler. Then Earl Weaver picked it up, experimented with it in spring training in Miami, uses it at times, but they gauge breaking pitches and difference between fastball and changeup also. So there are a lot of important ways it can be used, not just measuring sheer speed.
Pull foul. You know, the first I ever heard of this radar thing is when that state trooper caught a tree going 35 miles an hour, and then the second time it was a barn, and they had some kind of a court suit. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. High, there goes the runner. The throw is, he got him. Beautiful throw by Porter. Porter to White, gets McBride. So they're trailing by 4, but they're still running, so 5-1. Royals leading the Phillies, and we talked about Reggie Jackson's home run. Who can ever forget him? Here comes a Fall Classic flashback. I know you're going to enjoy it as much as Reggie did.
Reggie Jackson at the plate for the Yankees. In his 2 previous at-bats tonight in the stadium, Jackson has blasted homers. The Dodgers' Charlie Huff on the mound, getting ready to pitch to Reggie. Here it is. There's a swing and a drive deep into center field, and it's over the fence for a home run. Jackson's 3rd consecutive. A feat previously accomplished in series play by only Babe Ruth.
This is for you. An invitation to pivot. This is the Gillette Atra Invitation Razor. Its twin blades keep the perfect shaving angle because of this, the Atra Pivot. It gives you a better shave than any razor that can't pivot. And now you can pick up this Gillette Atra razor for under $1.50. But hurry, this offer to pivot is for a limited time only, so run out before we do.
Hold it. Hey, guys. All right, stop fooling around. Calm down. Hold it down. I mean, this is the first Light Bay alumni picture. Okay, a little respect. All right, everybody here?
Everybody who is somebody.
Oh, very clever. All right, smile, will you?
Knock it off, Billy. You need this job.
Are you guys ready? Hold it. Hold it. Stay like that. Hold it. Now, just be yourselves. Calm down. Calm down. Hold it.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You could buy all these copiers and still not get everything that's in the small new Savin 840.
That's why you'll find it in blue chip companies and chocolate chip companies. The Savin 840 goes into insurance agencies and secret agencies. Only the Savin 840 gives you fiber optics, a microprocessor, fast first copy time, and more in one copier, whether you employ hundreds or just one. The new Savin 840, the first small copier to do it all.
Tomorrow, start your day with host Brian Gumbel and NFL 80 for a look at the selling of the NFL, cheerleaders, plus a World Series update. Check local listings.
Glenn Hurdle takes it on the outside corner, and it's strike 1. Hurdle walked his first time up. High. 1 ball, 1 strike. Five to 1, Kansas City leading. Outside, 2-1. Off the end of the bat, it's going to be trouble. It's a base hit. It'll be extra bases. Another one. Hurdle is on at second. That is the 4th double. They have a triple and 2 home runs. They have hardly stopped at first base. Just make that left turn and go.
Watch the English on this ball as it scoots down against the wall. It's Bill Kunkel. They just keep on going. Unser with no play. You know, I got to make one point about that steal where McBride gets caught. We talked a lot about Boa stealing 4 runs down. Well, Boone was hitting behind him in that situation. But when you've got the home run leader of the major leagues, as McBride got caught, Schmidt, you take the bat out of his hand, it's not as good a play, is it?
Nope, especially if you get thrown out.
Which you did.
Right.
It's not even a good time to attempt it.
Right. Starting to get soft, Tony. I'm agreeing with you. Porter. 1 ball, 1 strike. These Kansas City Royals really came out of the chute. 5 runs in 2 innings. 2 balls and 1 strike. Home runs, doubles, triples. Schmidt in foul territory makes the play.
Joe, you can tell when a guy like Porter's in the slump, as we look at Hurdle at second. When he tries to pull the ball, he's a natural pull hitter, and he can't pull the ball. He's pulling off the ball. He wanted to get that runner to third base, at least a ground ball with no outs, and he pops it up to the left side. It's really hurting with the bat.
Hurdle's at second. Here's UL Washington. Washington had a base hit his first time up. It's a strike. Phillies bullpen getting busy. We're in the bottom of the third. The Royals out in front 5-1. Bouncing ball. Trio has it. Over to first. Washington's out. Hurdle goes to third. I think there are a couple stories developing here, Tony. Number one, the way as we look at Hurdle at third, Aikens, of course, the home runs, the way he's just electrified everybody. But the difference in the Kansas City attitude. They have 4 runs over in Philadelphia and kind of sat on it. Now they're still going out, and this Philly bunch, in playing in the playoff games, it just came from behind. The only way they seem to know how to play is from behind. They're not out of it, and they're still running behind. Here's Wilson, ball 1.
4 of the extra base hits by the Royals today have been by left-handed hitters, and their run production and extra base power is from the left side.
1 ball, 1 strike. A left-hander, Kevin Sauché, loosens up for the Phillies. Wilson and Denkinger have a little talk as we look at Dickie Knowles, the pitcher. Hurdle at third. There's a strike. Wilson had 184 singles this season, which is a new American League record. He went to bat 705 times. Out on strike. So that ends the third inning. Royals do not score. We complete 3 innings of baseball here. The Kansas City Royals 5, the Philadelphia Phillies 1. And 2 up for the Phillies. It'll be Mike Schmidt, Unser, and Maddox.
We're here with the premier of Vlastovia at this typical American farm where he's taking a tour today, and he's asking about the farmer's pickup. The interpreter tells him that it's an '81 Ford. The premier wants to drive the Ford.
Yes, how good as guess, Smiley.
Well, this year, Ford has the best estimated MPG ever achieved by a 6-cylinder pickup. What?
He says your American roads are rough.
Well, Fords are built tough. How do you like the Ford, Mr. Premier?
It's like my wife. Tough, but very good looking.
They're not in here.
Honey.
Come on, let's go.
It's over there.
Hey, whoa, what's happened?
We lost all our traveler's checks.
Oh, that's too bad. What kind were they?
American Express.
American Express. Relax. Let's call them.
Great. You can call for help anytime from anywhere in the country with American Express traveler's checks. Ask for them by name.
People come in here and ask for plugs for Japanese cars. And I tell them there's a spark plug designed to get the most out of small 4-cylinder engines. It's got a fused glass seal in here, so you get full power and a remarkably wide heat range. Helps prevent stalling and misfiring. Then I tell them something else remarkable about this plug. It's not Japanese, it's American. Autolite.
There you see the proud peacock right where it should be at the World Series. To the left, Arrowhead Stadium and Royal Stadium, the Harry S. Truman Sports Complex here in Kansas City. What a tremendous sight. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Make your dream house a reality. 7:30 Monday on Fight Back on KNBC Los Angeles.
Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek and Tom Seaver. It's 5-1. Kansas City leading 5-9-2 for Kansas City. 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Phillies. We're in the top half of the 4th inning, and Mike Schmidt will lead it off. He was the batter when Bake McBride was out trying to steal. Schmidt was out on strikes his first time up, a long way from the plate. Bunts it beautifully. Leonard, the only man who can make the play, and he can't. So Schmidt gets it started. They need base runners, and the big guy says, I'm going to get something going. That could ignite him, Tom.
Mike Schmidt is an exceptional athlete, handles the bat extremely well, a great fielder, outstanding speed for a good man. He bunted last night, bunting again today, trying to get something going. Leonard makes a mistake and looks toward the runner before he gets his hand on the ball, but even if he had, it was such a good bunt, I doubt if he could throw Mike Schmidt out. Mike has outstanding speed for a big man.
Here is Del Unser. Unser, the left fielder. Takes outside, ball 1. He's really bounced around, Unser. His father, former major leaguer, and I just love the line he used after his clutch hit when he won the game in Philadelphia. He said, this scratches a 30-year itch for me. That's how long he's waited. At first base, Mike Schmidt. Here's a strike. It's kind of interesting on his Phillies ball club. Ray Boone, his son Bob, Al Unser, his son Del playing here. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Dennis Leonard with a 4-run lead. It's 5-1. Kansas City over the Phillies. We're in the 4th. Schmidt is back easily.
Joe and Tom, we've got some action in the bullpen down at Kansas City for the Royals.
The 1-1 pitch. High fly ball, left center field. Wilson, Otis. Otis says, I'll take it. And he does, so there's 1 away.
You see that often in this ballpark. It is a rough sun field in left, and it is glaring in the eyes of Willie Wilson. So Otis will come over and look away from the sun and take a lot of balls away from him. A shot there, see how big this park is in the alleys. 385 in each alley, and then it goes out to 410. Wilson, you can see the glare of the sun. The glasses are down, but he still hasn't picked up the ball. He's almost trying to look through the webbing of his glove. I've heard some outfielders have tried that to break up the glare, but Otis comes over and helps him out.
That is the best way. Here is Maddox. First pitch, hits it. Little dribbler, Akins will race him and got him. Long call, just did get him. Really a close play.
A very difficult close play at first base. Akins gets over there, looks almost like it's going to be a 3-camo pileup going into first base. An interesting aspect of Gary Maddox up at the plate. That's the first breaking ball that Leonard has thrown on the first pitch. Aiken makes a good play to get in behind Leonard to make the tag on Maddox.
We've had several of these lapses by pitcher. Gale not backing up a play. Leonard today at home plate. And again, he did not get over to first base quickly enough.
There are 2 outs. Trio doesn't get a strike 1. That's Leonard really on top of that play, hesitating. Looked like he wasn't just sure.
He has had 3 close plays, making those Fox River Valley folks, the area he comes from, Wisconsin, very happy, calling him a good ball game at first.
Trio hit into a force play. Went to second on an air. He scored on a base hit by Boa. There's one to right field. Hurdle is going back. Should have no problem. Makes the catch. And that ends the 4th inning for the Phillies. They do not score. So we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning to score here. Royals 5 the Phillies 1. And 2 up, it'll be White, Brett Akins.
See this little baby? No other pocket camera does what it does. It's unique because only the new Kodak Extralight cameras have built-in Sensolite flash. Sensolite flash turns itself on and flashes automatically when you need more light. It even turns itself off. You'll never worry about flash again. These new cameras with Sensolite flash are the easiest to use Kodak pocket cameras ever. I trust my stories to cameras and film from Kodak, America's storyteller.
It's coming. It's taking over in offices coast to coast. It's the paper blob. It's packed with important papers that should move out of your office fast, but can't get loose. This is a job for Federal Express. For as little as $20, we'll pick up your important papers and deliver them clear across the country overnight, so you'll never have to worry about the paper blob again. Federal Express, when it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight.
We're proud. Say it again. NBC, we're proud.
We've got lots of style.
Proud.
We've got a lot to smile about.
Proud.
In a special way, we're gonna light your nights and fill your days. Make you laugh, make you cry, make you see the reason why we're proud to be, yeah, NBC.
Proud to bring you the Charlotte 500 next Saturday.
NBC, proud as a big rock.
For those of you who may be joining us late, we're moving to the bottom of the 4th. Game 4 in Kansas City. Clear skies overhead, but thunder and lightning down on the field. Royals are out in front 5-1 on the strength of 9 hits, 7 of those for extra bases. As Dickie Knowles prepares to work the 4th, he'll be coming up to the middle of that order. Brett Akins, McRae, and Otis. Those 4 have combined for a .537 average in this series. And he'll be facing Akins' 3rd, Joe, and we know what he's already done his first 2 times at bat.
That we have, Bryant. He has been a hot hitter. In fact, we are in on history as far as Willie Akins is concerned. Here's White. High inside, ball 1. Didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5-1, Royals lead, bottom of the 4th. Phillies lead the series 2-1. It's popped up. It is playable. Pete Rose says, I'll take it. 1 out. There's the blimp.
The third baseman, George Brett.
There's the pilot. He's got some seat. All right. That's a good job. So there's 1 out, and here is George Brett. Brett tripled and scored and hit a ball hard at Trio. He was out at first base. Akins is the on-deck hitter, and he'll just get a roar when he comes up. Strike 1. Akins, the on-deck batter, is the first player in history to hit 2 or more home runs twice in the same series. And Jackson's 3 home runs, Reggie Jackson's 3 home runs you saw in the flashback were 3 years ago today. Right to the day.
Trying something new on Brett this time up, who's hit the ball hard almost every time in this World Series, but they're still playing him to pull in the outfield, but they went fastballs low and away. He had a fastball low and away from Davis. Guy's got to be a George Brett fan, that youngster.
Well, that kid, he was supposed to call his mother, but he bought a hot dog and made the sign up. 2 strikes on Brett. Down he goes. There's a message right there. Here comes Jim Fry out. There's a message. Jim Fry is out right now. He is really upset. He is really upset. 2 strikes, no balls, and he really low-bridged him. Fry wants to go after him.
Fry wants one thing from Don Dinkinger, the home plate umpire. He wants a warning issued to the pitcher, and we're going to ask Ronnie Luciano, who's in the booth. Brett is the calmest guy here. Now Rose is challenging Fry. The other umpires have come in. Gordy McKenzie from third has come in to calm Jimmy down. He wants no one, Jimmy Fry, messing with the man you called the franchise last night, George Brett. So they have stirred up Jimmy Fry. Pete Rose also. Brett very calmly just hanging around, but he really got flipped. We're going to show you the pitch. Ronnie, I want you to talk about this after he gets flipped. What an umpire has to do in this situation. Watch George go down. 2 pitches down, low and away, and then he comes high and tight. Quick reaction by George.
And this is the only time an umpire has time to think. Here it is. He's looking at the pitch. He sees it comes high in on George, and he's saying to himself, listen, I've got to warn him. What am I going to say? I've got to pick up my words perfectly. And at the same time, while he's watching this, he looks out of the side and he sees Fry starting to come out of the dugout. So he waits until Fry comes out there, and he gives him a little extra time to go out and say it. He was going to go out to the mound and talk to him, and he's going to tell him, listen, if it comes close again, you're gone. Not only you, but I'm going over to Dallas Green, and Dallas is going too. And by the same token, if Dennis Leonard throws at anybody, Dennis Leonard is going to be gone, and Fry, you're going to be gone too. So
unfair rule. Unfair rule. The first guy can take a shot, and the next guy who might let a ball slip, he's thrown out. Why?
They don't want anyone hurt. The heck with the shots. I get one shot, you get one. None of this even up stuff. We don't want anybody hurt, and he's going to stop both sides.
Okay, guys, settle down. Curveball inside. Ask about it. Strike is called. You'll hear a boo. There is Dallas Green. He was warned by Denkinger. So the message is clear. Let's see what happens now. The man who hit the 2 home runs. Sister, you're not playing hooky, are you? Here's the man that hit the 2 home runs. Curveball is a strike. He tied a record today for home runs in 2 consecutive innings. Ruth in 23 and 28. Hits it foul. Kluszewski in 1959. Jackson in 1977. George Brett, he is upset. I don't blame him. That was as good a knockdown as you'll want to see. Off the handle. Most home runs, 4-game series, and this is the 4th game now. Not a 4-game series, but in 4 games. Gehrig did in a 4-game series, 4. Aikens, show you what he has done so far, has 4. He fouled that off his foot. 5 games series, 3 home runs by Don Clendenin in 1969. A 6-game series, Reggie Jackson with his 5 home runs. Aikens in the 4th game has 4 home runs. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's one reason that some people do not like the designated hitter rule. They can't get even with the pitcher who knocks you down. He's sitting on the bench hollering. Line foul. And make no bones about it, there is a sign for that. You take your thumb and your index finger like you're shooting a marble and you flip it, and that's the message. Flip him.
I don't think pitchers have to be told, though. They know they've got to protect their part of the plate, their territory.
Got him on strikes, and that ends the inning. So at the end of 4 innings, the score here, Kansas City 5, the Phillies 1. These fans are ready, and we've got ourselves quite a ball game. Watch Brett go down once again. No doubt about it. And now we got some activity over the Phillies dugout. Players are coming out. We'll be back. 5-1. Royals lead the Phillies. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
On Chips, Ponch and John help a young Indian boy protect wildlife from deadly poachers and learn his heritage.
Oh, we're friendly.
A special family episode Sunday.
Looking for work.
Ah, you found the perfect car. Now all you need's a rich uncle.
Looking for work.
At Security Pacific Bank, we can help you apply for an auto loan or an auto lease. That perfect car? we're looking forward to making it possible. Security Pacific Bank, looking forward to serving people better.
In this slim new dress watch, Seiko Technology has created your own personal time control center with simultaneous displays in any 2 time zones, day and date, alarm, hourly time signal, plus chronograph accuracy to within 1/100th of a second. Slim personal time control centers from Seiko. And you get the best of Seiko only where you see this sign of your Seiko authorized dealer.
Seiko watch is available at Zales. An interview with Henry Kissinger, 6:30 Sunday on News Conference.
Well, the commotion has subsided, but let's find out what happened from our man who's down there, Merle Harmon.
All right, Joe, as Pete Rose came into the dugout, it appeared that somebody threw something on the dugout roof toward him. Of course, Pete reacted like Pete always reacts. The fans are really on him, and of course his own teammates in the dugout were out to help him out just in case. But things are really heating up down here, and we'll try to stay cool. Joe?
Okay, Merle. Tony, remember when the Dodgers went to Yankee Stadium? This game, if it goes back to Philadelphia, this series, it could get interesting.
Well, we're at the top of the 5th. The Royals lead 5-1 over the Phillies. The calmest man through it all was George Brett. He went back to the on-deck circle. He smiled. When he went to his position, he tapped Maddox and McBride coming in from the outfield with a big smile. Don't know what he said, but he was very calm. He knows a pitcher has to do that once in a while. Move you back. Boa sliced out a play foul.
When he went by McBride, Tony, going over to his position, he looked at him, put up his thumb and his little finger and said it missed me by just that much. Both of them had a nice smile on their face.
Boa was involved in the only run for the Phillies in the 2nd inning. Maddox single, trio. Hit into a force out. UL Washington threw the ball away. Boa hit to right field. Hurdle has it. Boa's the man with 1 out here who in the 2nd single home the only Phillies run.
Well, executive wives go through pressure. Mrs. Don Oldmeyer watching the game. Lady nearest the on the right side of the screen.
Is he going that good?
Pretty good catch, huh?
Bob Boone, leadoff hitter, Lonnie Smith. Dennis Leonard, who's had some long sits on the bench before the game, the first 2 innings during the incident where Brett was knocked down. He had to sit and wait through that. Still got pretty good control. 1 ball, 1 strike.
When that happens to a pitcher, Tony, what he'll try to do if he's on the bench and is in the middle of a long inning when his team is hitting, the most important thing is to get the wet sweatshirts off, especially on a cool day like today. You don't have to worry about it too much during the summer months, but when it's cool, when there's a brisk chill in the air, to go in the clubhouse, get your wet sweatshirt off, get a dry sweatshirt off. They do have heaters in the top of the Royals dugout, and there really is no problem keeping warm. It's just keeping the wetness off of your back.
2 ball, 1 strike pitch. Count goes 2-2 to Boone with 1 out. Royals 5, the Phillies 1. Royals with 9 hits, Phillies 4. Somewhat of a sloppily played game early in the ball game. The Royals have 2 errors, the Phillies 1. Boone should be a base hit up the middle. Amos Otis, so with 1 out, Boone's on down at first base, and will bring up the DH, Lonnie Smith.
The pitch from Leonard from their center field camera gave you a good shot of Bob Boone, a fastball hitter, and a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Line drive. Right out to center field, almost Amos Otis plays it. So Boone's on first with a single.
2 home runs in this ball game by Willie Mays Aikens, and he has enjoyed them both. Ground ball, could be 2. Brett to White. He can really unload. He's got a very fleet-footed runner in Lonnie Smith. Brett even with a bag, and he turned it over in a hurry to Frank White. So Dennis Leonard pitches out of the problem here in the 5th inning. The score, as we look at this replay, look how shallow he's playing. Even with 3rd and the runner coming, Boone, Frank White unloads in a hurry. So going to the bottom of the 5th here in Royal Stadium, game number 4. The score, Royals 5, the Phillies 1. 2 up, Hal McRae for the Royals, then Amos Otis and Clint Hurdle.
Odds are you sell your house faster if you tell more people about it. That's what this machine does. Like any agent, I find buyers locally, but I can also send a picture and description of your house to buyers in any one of our 4,000 offices. It's like a national multi-list, and only ERA has this system. Think about the odds and then call us. We can find more buyers. That's another reason your ERA real estate specialist is the person you need to know in real estate.
RCA wants you to see the right color. Does your television automatically capture all these subtle shades of blue in this ocean of color? Color Track 1981 can. With RCA's exclusive detail processor, Color Track separates detail from color, refines it, then locks the right color on track. Even colors only subtle shades apart. Color Track 1981. RCA is making television better and better.
I'll tell you, I was a born soccer player. Did everything with my feet. Took out the rubbish with my feet, made the bed with my feet, drove my mum crazy. But I finally found something I enjoy doing with my hands, drinking light beer from Miller. Light has a third less calories than the regular beer. It's less filling, but what really makes me happy is the taste. It's terrific. Now, my mum should be happy too. Look, Mum, no feet.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
In about another inning or two, you will see that shadow cross over home plate and head toward the pitcher's mound, and it will get tough to hit in this 5-1 ball game with the Royals ahead. But right now, a reminder, this telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. McCray Otis hurdle to face Dickie Knowles. Knowles has done a job. 3 up, 3 down in the fourth. Got 3 of the 4 hitters after a double by Hurdle leading off the third. So he has done his job. He has kept this Royals team close. Phillies trail by 4. You do not see as much middle relief pitching in the American League with the DH. They'll go with the starters longer. 1 ball to McCray.
Knowles also got his message across, too, to George Brett. After he had the knockdown pitch to George Brett struck out. Aiken struck out right after that. Don't think that those hitters on the bench, etc., don't know what that pitcher's doing out there or what he will do.
The official word we get is that there was an official warning to both managers and pitchers, and if it should happen again, the pitcher throwing the knockdown and his manager will be ejected.
1-1 to McCray. Breaking ball hangs up high. Count goes 2-1. So Dickie Knowles is behind Hal McCray. McCray, the DH, hitting the number 5 spot. 2-2.
That bears out what Ron Luciano said. You don't get even. Don't want anybody hurt.
He got him inside. Ran a fastball in on the fists of McCray, so he has struck out 3 in a row. Now it's A.O. Amos Otis with a double and a fly ball to right field. 5-1 with a full house once again. A little over 42,000 people here in Royal Stadium for game number 4 of this World Series. The Phillies won the first 2. Kansas City won last night to get back in the World Series. And fellas, we are not being self-serving when we say this, but we got to compliment our engineers, camera crew, George Finkel, who produced the games in Philadelphia, Mike Weissman here, Harry Coyle. You've got great pictures for us. Thank you. Base hit by Otis on a breaking ball up the middle. So he's on. He can steal a base, and Hurdle's the hitter. Left-handed hitter will give him some protection. Otis 2 for 3 in the ball game, a double and a single. In the bottom of the 5th with 1 out. Royals leading 5-1. Royals with 4 runs in the first inning, another in the second. Phillies came up with their only run in the second. Royals have 10 base hits. Phillies 5. Hurdle has walked and doubled. A little squib double down the left field line. Jose Martinez, Amos Otis. That is where a coach can help a guy. Oh, and scouting reports, talked to Tom Ferrick, one of the scouts from the Royals who scouted Philadelphia, said we look for pickoff moves from pitchers because of our running game. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And it might be a little difficult for a player to remember all the slight nuances and pickoff move and everything else. So Jose Martinez has memorized it so he can pass the word along to Otis. What kind of move does he have? Is he quick to first, slow to home, or vice versa? 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. 2-0, says Don Dinkinger, the home plate umpire. He's an American League umpire. There's Gordy McKenzie down at third base. He says of his ball club, McKenzie, very few rely on him to run the bases. He said, my best base runner is Brett, second best is McCray, Otis is great. They find the ball, they go on their own. 2-1 to Hurdle.
Dickie Knowles, another of the young pitchers on the Phillies staff out of the Dallas Green School of Pitching. You can see him how he grips the fastball there behind his back. And you know, they get a good shot of that World Series ball. You could see the red ink that's on that ball as opposed to what would be the green or blue ink on the National or American League ball.
Otis was going. Otis was going. He took 2 little shuffle steps off first base, and then Dickie Knowles stepped off. Two balls, 2 strikes to Hurley. Quick pitch that time, and caught Amos Otis before he got that walking lead. And once again, they are on him from the dugout. They are saying he did not stop. He pitched too fast. Dinkinger said, oh yeah, he changed directions, and that's considered a stop. I don't buy that, but Tom Seaver, I know you do. But all you guys cheat. Otis and Knowles watching each other. Outside, count goes full to Hurdle. 3-2, and with 1 out, Amos Otis will probably be on the move. We've got a 5-1 ball game. The Royals have the lead. He's off. Outside, ball 4. Royals are 2 and out and 1 out. Well, it'll bring up Darrell Porter, who has struck out and fouled out. He is having a rough championship series.
0 for October, and that makes it rugged because there's more people watching you in October if you're playing.
This is a carryover, though, from the end of the season because he finished the season hitting .097, a terrific slump, 1 for 10 in the playoffs. He has not had a hit in the World Series. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. 1 strike on Porter. 2 men on, 1 out. That'll tell the story of his run production late in the season. He blew it by him. 0-2 to Porter.
Porter gets an outside fastball from Dickie Knowles, and it looks like he's trying to pull the ball, Tony, instead of going with that ball, trying to hit it up the left center field alley. Really gets back on his heels.
0-2 pitch. Porter tries to go the opposite way that time. I guess you mentioned something with Carlton earlier, how his right shoulder, when he threw, was opening up too soon. His arm was dragging. The same thing is true of a hitter. His right shoulder, in the case of Porter, flies open. The bat drags behind. If you keep that shoulder a little bit longer, you can stay with the ball longer. 2 strikes on Porter. Dickie Knowles, way outside, 1-2. 1 out here in Royal Stadium. Game number 4. World Series, Otis at second, Hurdle at first. Phillies won the first 2, about 14 hours ago, in a short night of sleep. Royals picked up their first World Series win ever.
And how important this win would be to tie up this World Series at 2 apiece.
1-2 pitch. Goes 2-2. After the knockdown of Brett, Knowles struck out Brett, the check swing, then struck out Aikens, then struck out McCray. Then Otis got a single and Hurdle walked. Drill, but it's pull foul. High breaking ball, hanging slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Otis On his way back to second base with 1 out. Clint Hurdle has been on base all 3 times this ball game. 2 walks and a double. He's down at first.
The one ball he did hit hard, he just pulled it foul, and I can't help but think what Bob Forsch, the Cardinal pitcher, the fellas in the slump, calls buzzard's luck. You can't kill anything and nothing will die. Oh, you can't get a break.
Well, he's late on the fastball, way out in front on the breaking stuff. Good curveball. Boy, he broke off. The curveball just dropped under the hands of Porter. Super pitch for Dickie Knowles with runners on first and second, so there are 2 outs and UL Washington coming up.
Good shot of Knowles, who has an inconsistent curveball at time, but on a 2-2 pitch, outstanding for strike 3. Joe Porter certainly struggling at the plate, had a good ration of hard stuff, and all of a sudden Knowles pulls the string on them, and he just didn't have a chance.
2 outs. UL Washington, he is singled to short and grounded out. A couple reasons why we didn't sleep well last night. It was, of course, a short night, but one of them, did you hear those horns honking? Everybody celebrating till about 2:33 in the morning around Kansas City, downtown. Popped up, left side, foul turner. Schmidt couldn't get his glasses down, finally does, so Dickie Knowles pitches out of it. Strands 2 runners. After 5 here in Kansas City. The score, the Royals 5, the Phillies 1, and there is downtown Kansas City. 2 up as the Phillies try to get back in this ball game. That man will lead it off. Pete Rose, he can start things up. Then Bake McBride and Mike Schmidt.
You're the Pepsi generation, the spirit of today. And with every taste of life that's new, well, that Pepsi spirit shines right through. Catch that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in. Catch that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in.
Introducing an American car designed for a changing world and with a commitment to quality. The beautifully new Ford Granada in a new smaller size with its highest mileage ratings ever. And with Ford's attention to detail, every door is hand adjusted. Every seat is hand fitted. Every car is examined by 38 quality inspectors. The kind of detail you can see, feel, and hear. The new Granada, built for a changing world from Ford.
Right Guard knows a man sweats more than a woman. That's why a man needs Right Guard. Right Guard has a male effectiveness formula. A formula so strong, more men count on it to help stop perspiration odor every day. Right Guard knows there's a difference between you. Men perspire more. And that's what Right Guard's for.
On Games People Play, Australia's finest compete in the Surf Classic. Find out who wins the valet parking contest and the finals of men and women's bronco busting Thursday.
So we hope you'll tune in and join me for Games People Play on Thursday. In addition to everything else, we will have a tug of war between the wives of the Phillies and the Royals. As we speak of love, there is no love lost for the man about to step in for the Phillies and face Dennis Leonard. He is Pete Rose, and he is the man who confronted Jimmy Fry when Jimmy Fry came out to the plate to let Dickie Knowles know what he thought of flipping George Brett. Here's the crowd's reaction as we give it to Tony.
Those boos are not coming from outside the stadium. A great shot you just saw, but from within. But Pete Rose has heard this before. You play against him. You hate him if you're a fan. The players all respect him and admire him. When he joins your team, you love him. Dennis Leonard. He's got a 5-1 lead. We're in the 6th. Rose, infield single, lined out to left field. Ground ball. They're really playing him and pitching him right. Brett to Akins. The cheer goes up for retiring Rose.
Trying to hit it past Brett. You can see when he was up there, he was looking that way. Rose rarely bunts. He fakes a lot of bunts, but he doesn't bunt that much. But he tried to smash it by Brett. Couldn't do it.
Now it's Bake McBride and that shadow as we look at George Brett. a very good fielder. He's improved, Tommy. He used to throw a lot of balls away. Most of his errors came from an erratic arm. Fake bunt. Brett is charging from third. 1 ball, no strikes on McBride. He's right up on the plate with that very short and light bat. Shadow just about ready to creep over home plate. There you see it. Foul out of play by McBride. 1-1 with 1 out. Well, late today at 4 Eastern time, NBC Sports World returns live. It's a 10-round light heavyweight bout between undefeated Michael Spinks and Yaqui Lopez. Then some of the greatest names in bowling go pin for pin in Legends of Bowling. All this and more today on NBC Sports World at 4 p.m. Eastern time, following the 1980 World Series here on NBC Sports. Base hit to left center field. It's going to roll to the wall. McBride off and running. Will pull up at second base for the stand-up double. So, after Rose goes down, McBride ignites something with Schmidt coming up. And I've got to add one thing, Joe, before I let you jump in. If you've been a Joe Garagiola fan, as most people have around the country, a little special tribute to Joe. He's done the Today Show and game shows and baseball and wrestling. You name it, he's done it. Nice little tribute for a very special anniversary. We hope our people will tune in. I enjoyed being a small part of it. Congratulations, pal.
Okay, Tony, thank you very much.
The story will be on Sports World. Right now, let's get to Mike Schmidt. Major League's home run hitting champion with 48. 1 out, McBride at second. Phillies trying to come from behind. Royals 5, Phillies 1. Schmidt has struck out and dropped the bunt single on Brett. Chopper, gonna be trouble. Brett on a tough hop. He recovers the ball. He made a fine play. He got Schmidt just barely, but how Brett recovered and threw Mike Schmidt with that great speed out, Tommy. It was a fine play.
Watch how far towards second base he has to go. It's his short hop, knocks it down. He stays right with it, and his great arm gets Schmidt just in time. You got to believe him, especially now when he says the other night he could have made the 2 plays on the balls hit off Larry Gura.
Brett did go way to his left. The ball very fortunately popped right up in front of him, and good work, Harry Coyle. You could see from that first view that he was out at first base.
Dutch Leonard at first base has had 4 plays that are matters of inches and literally tens of thousands of seconds when that foot hits the bag and the ball hits the glove, and he has been right there every time. Saving that base hit prevents some problems for Leonard. McBride still stationed at second with 2 out, 1 strike on Dal Unser, who's 0 for 2, 2 flyouts. Breaking ball gets away from Darrell Porter. Just off the end of his glove. It'll be a tough official scorer's decision.
He didn't move on that ball, Tony. I don't know how they're going to rule it, but he didn't seem to shift. And Darrell is a pretty good catcher. Let's take a look here and see what we can see. He didn't move. He just backhanded that ball. If I was scoring it, I'd give him a pass ball, but I don't know what they're calling it.
You know, sometimes, Joe, a catcher, when he's catching a control pitcher, won't shift around as much because he knows that pitcher is going to be around the plate somewhere. And that pitch looked like it got way inside, and Darrell looked like he was off balance going after it. Hit off the end of his glove.
Wild pitch is charged to Dennis Leonard. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Dennis Leonard facing Dal Unser. Way outside. The official scores for this World Series: Phil Collier, president of the Baseball Writers Association of San Diego Union; Don Pfannenstiel of the Independence Missouri Examiner; and Bob Kenny, Camden Courier Post. So they get their heads together and decide. And we saw McBride at third.
And I'm not second guessing the call because I said it first. He didn't move. He should have gotten a pass ball.
2-1. Foul out of play by Unser. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Royals 5, Phillies 1. We're in the top of the 6th. Dennis Leonard, who in game 1 had a 4-0 lead. A couple of home runs in that ball game got him the lead. And then it slipped away. The Phillies came back. Leonard with McBride at third, really taking more time. Unser is also getting his thoughts together. Breaking ball, he got it. Slider out of the strike zone, but he gets Dal Unser for a strikeout, so he strands. Take McBride at third base. The score here in Kansas City: Royals 5, Phillies 1. And due up for Kansas City, the speedy Willie Wilson, then Frank White and George Brett.
know, it's amazing how similar we are. We have the same last name.
And we both played baseball for the same team.
We even drank the same beer, light beer from Miller.
And we drink it for the same reason. Light has a third less calories than their regular beer.
And it's less filling.
But we drink it because it tastes so great.
Now, I know we're incredibly alike, but don't be confused. We are not identical twins.
I'm at least 2 inches taller than he is.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This camera is not for everybody. This is for somebody who likes the best. Naturally, I have one. A single lens reflex that will focus itself with sound waves. It's just plain hard to take a bad picture, but then who wants a bad picture? You view right through the picture-taking lens, and the camera automatically hands you a beautifully sharp picture, even in close. No other camera can do that. Polaroid's SX70 sonar. This one's mine, but they have one for you.
Hey, Coach is back!
What's going on?
Lunch.
Burgers, huh?
Nah, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Coach says the curtain room uses fresh quality chicken. Coach wants us to eat right. He says Kentucky Fried Chicken's a great meal at a sensible price.
Smart coach.
Smart enough to know what my boys like best.
Right on, Hank!
It's so nice, so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, just beyond the right center field fence, up on a hill here in Royal Stadium, Kansas City, a couple of horsemen, policemen in the area, were patrolling it. Show you the difference of the atmosphere in Philadelphia, which Merle Harmon described so vividly and picturesquely. Philadelphia versus Kansas City, two different types of cultures. Well, Kevin Saucier, a new pitcher, has come in, and Ron Luciano, there was a meeting with the home plate umpire before he threw his first warm-up pitch. What was it about?
Don Denkiger went out to Kevin and he said, look at Kevin, we had an incident before, and I'm warning you before it even happens. If it comes close, you're out of here. I don't want 60,000 people or 40,000 people coming out of the stands and getting on me, you, and the ball players. We're not going to have any incidents today.
And in case you missed it, joined us late, there's Denkinger, the home plate umpire for the American League. The incident that Ron Luciano referred to was when George Brett had a no-ball, two-strike count on him. They had pitched him away twice. Dickie Knowles came inside. He was flipped, Brett was, and there was a near fight between Jim Fry, the pitcher, Pete Rose. But the umpires calmed it right on down and did a great job. 5-1, Royals over the Phillies. All 6 runs scored in the first 2 innings. 5 by the Royals, Phillies with 1.
There's a sign out in right field, and Don Denkinger motions to the umpires, and it's going right down the line to please remove the sign.
Willie Wilson will bat from the right side at Axe, Michigan. Wilson, White, Brett. There's the bullpen, Kansas City's. Saucier's first pitch to Willie Wilson. Gets away from Boone, 1 ball.
Wilson in the first inning drawing that throw, gets by, and you know he's got second easily, but he doesn't hesitate. There he goes.
2 balls, no strikes to Willie Wilson during the regular season. At .304 left-handed, but right-handed .361. That is his natural side. 3-0. He began switching in 1977, Willie Wilson. John Sullivan, now a coach for the Brewers, made him a switch hitter. Then Chuck Hiller, who was a coach under Herzog, now a Mets manager, refined it and taught him how to do it. So he's out, and look out. 5-1, the Royals over the Phillies. So Kevin Saucier walks the first hitter he faces. The wrong one, probably, Willie Wilson, and it'll bring Herm Starrett out. He's the pitching coach.
Tony, as he walks out there, before Tom, I know you got an idea what he's saying. That shadow is going to be a factor. It is right now covering home plate, and it's going to get tougher and tougher.
Herm Starrett going out to talk to his young pitcher, Kevin Saucier. Kevin's numbers, when you look at him, pretty good. 7-3 with a 3.42 ERA in the 1980 season. Pitched just 50 innings. If he does have a problem, and this is why Herm Starrett went out to talk to him, it'd be with his control. And Willie Wilson, 4 pitches and a base on balls. That's a good way for the Royals to start a rally.
If you hadn't noticed, as the pitching coaches go out the mound during the course of the series, Watch it the next time, because Connors and Starrett approach it differently. Billy Connors will go directly to the pitcher. Herb Starrett will always go to the catcher and talk to him first and then walk with the catcher. He wants to find out from the catcher first, because pitchers do lie at times.
He also
don't know.
Tony, he also wants to tell the catcher what he's going to say to the pitcher before he gets out there.
All right, 5-1, the Royals over the Phillies. In the bottom of the 6th, Wilson at first. Saucier had Wilson going back toward first base on that pitch, so it's 1 ball, no strikes. White, as we look at Willie Wilson, he was 2nd in the league in stolen bases with 79. Ricky Henderson of the A's, an amazing 100. Not a big lead in this 1-0 count. Fly ball, short right field. McBride. Boy, he had some trouble with the wind there. The wind is blowing out pretty strongly when that ball gets up high, as that one did, toward right field. 1 out.
George Brett, he struck out his last time up, but that was the time at bat when they had the incident. And here's what happens. Take a look at it. That is a major league flip, a major league knockdown right there, I'll tell you. And look at him staring back, letting him know, I know what you did, and I'll get you.
He goes up the middle a little bit more as Saucier throws over to Wilson, a little bit more up the middle in the left field, and does not try and pull the ball as much against left-handed pitching. But there are situations when he's ahead on left-handers, he will look inside and can pull the ball. One ball, no strikes with 1 out. Brett, the hitter. He has triple scored a run, grounded out hard in the 2nd inning of second base, and then struck out in a tough breaking pitch from Knowles. 1-0 to George. Wilson back.
Tony Saucier has a rather awkward move. Not really a good move, but it's awkward enough really that it'll freeze runners once in a while. They can't really tell which way he's going.
It's the high knee kick. There it is. Left center field. Dal Unser. He battles the sun, and he makes a nice catch. Made it look easier than it was into that sun. So Brett, for the 3rd time in this ball game, hits one right on the nose, but he's finally retired. Well, for the 2nd time, he struck out the last time. Wilson's still down there at first.
I played with Dale Unser in New York for several years, and he is a center fielder by trade, and an outstanding center fielder with an excellent arm, good hands. Dale is a heads-up, 100% ball player all the time, always into the ball game, always knows exactly where the runners are, how many outs, etc. A real mental player.
Willie Mays Aikens. They tell us he does not like the middle name Mays used anymore, even though it is officially his name. He wants to be known as Willie Aikens. Next year it'll be W.M. Aikens. If he keeps on going like this, they won't know how to put his name in the record book. He has 2 home runs today. 1 ball, no strike on Aikens. The other time up in the 4th, he struck out. His 2nd home run was really a blast deep into the bullpen in right field. Wilson, not with a big lead, back in time. 2 outs. 1 ball, no strikes, the count on Aikens. Wilson at first. Royals lead 5-1. We're at the bottom of the 6th. Wilson has not had a whole lot of opportunities to run in this World Series, but he's going to get a free base right there as a breaking ball. It's away from Bob Boone, bounds into the stand, so he's given 1 base, and it will be charged as a wild pitch to Saucier. Boone has gotten a workout today after a short night, Joe.
He's had a big workout the whole series, and he's done some job of blocking it, but that was just a wild pitch.
Bob Boone. Wilson has 2 stolen bases in this series, but he hasn't been on base that much with all the strikeouts. 3-0 to Aikens. First base open, but you've got McRae, a right-handed hitter, up, and he's got a couple of doubles that he made himself by hustling from home to second base. 3-0, 2 outs. Three and 1. Wilson, some of the times he's been on, the situations haven't dictated that he steal. Many times you had a slower base runner in front of him in this series. 3-1. Way outside, Aikens is on. They'll have to pitch to a tougher hitter against left-handers, Hal McRae. So Aikens with 2 home runs and a walk and a strikeout. Now comes Dallas Green.
they've had some activity in that bullpen in Dallas. When he comes out, that usually means he's going to make a pitching change. He is going to make it. Brewster has been loosening up for the Phillies, so Shea will be leaving. Now you see Brewster. Another change.
Well, we're in the bottom of the 6th with the score Royals 5, Phillies 1. Phillies pitching staff in trouble once again. There's Fry and Brett. We'll be back after this message.
It's midnight, and you lost your traveler's checks.
My name's Keegan. Where's my money?
Because they're Citicorp traveler's checks, we can get you an emergency refund through Western Union. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Citicorp. America's leading banking institution worldwide.
Thanks.
Take advantage of our size.
Looks like rain.
Travel the world with us, Citicorp traveler's checks.
I used to run through airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly non-stop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.
Remember this, a Rhine wine by any other name is not the same. Next time you wonder what white wine to drink, think of Gallo Rhine.
Well, they don't know how to spell Warren Brewster in Japanese, but we have broadcasters from literally all over the world here, and that is a Japanese broadcasting team. As Brewster comes in with their notes, Corey Leibel on our handheld camera into that area, it is amazing where this ball game is going. Game number 4 of the World Series, as did the first 3. 215 television stations in the States. Additional U.S. pickups, American Armed Forces Radio and Television Service, live satellite television feed. Goes all over the world: West Germany, Italy, Spain, Korea, Philippines, Panama Canal Zone, Japan, Alaska, Guantanamo, and Cuba. International feeds. We could go on and on. Canada, of course, friends up there, Bermuda, Dominican Republic, most Latin American countries, Taiwan. It is amazing where this place goes. The Netherlands, Antilles. Would you imagine would have gone there? And I didn't name them all.
I'm thinking of the times that they're watching the games, because tomorrow's game, for example, starts 4:30 Eastern time, and I just wonder where they hear it in those areas.
Warren Brewster, the 4th pitcher. Christenson started, Knowles, Saucier, and now Brewster with 2 men on for Kansas City and 2 outs.
Could you read that scouting report on Brewster in Japanese?
Just the first line, where it said 6 feet 2 inches tall and 185 pounds. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs. The Royals lead 5-1. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Chopper rolls with a nice backhand. Will go to second base. He is so alert. He took the easy way out, flipped the ball. So Brewster with 1 pitch pitches out of a jam for the Phillies, and the middle relief has been pretty good. So the score here in Royal Stadium: Kansas City 5, Philadelphia 1. It'll be Gary Maddox, Manny Trio, and Boa. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
America's most versatile performer is back. It's the Steve Allen Comedy Hour with Lucille Ball, Steve Martin, and George Kennedy. One of TV's all-time greats returns Saturday.
So that's what you were doing at the Broadway?
Yep. I got this Fisher cassette deck and these 12-inch 3-way speakers at the Broadway and saved $230.
No kidding.
Yep. It's the Broadway's biggest Fisher sale ever. This baby's got your auto stop, it's got your Dolby noise reduction, and the speakers were 50% off.
And now you're going to tell me I can save $350 on a complete system.
That's right. How'd you know?
That's what I got. Save up to 50% now at the Broadway's biggest Fisher sale ever.
If your heart says BMW and Mercedes-Benz, but your wallet says they're more than you can afford.
You're better off. You're better off. You're better off with that Audi.
If a Porsche has always been your fantasy car, but a 4-door sedan's what you need.
You're better You're better off with an Audi and us.
Tonight at 7 is Big City Comedy with guest Fred Willard.
Tomorrow, well, let's begin with Sports World right after our game, that big fight. You know, Leon Spinks gets some publicity. Michael's been doing quite a job. This is a big fight for him. It's a 10-round light heavyweight fight. It'll be live. Yaki Lopez, if Spinks can get by him, but Lopez have plenty to say about that. Then we'll have Legends of Bowling. That's Sports World following this game today. 4 o'clock Eastern time. Now tomorrow, big afternoon of sports. It begins with NFL 80. Brian Gumbel will be bringing you all the latest news, the scores, the highlights. And then we'll have some regional action as the Buffalo Bills take on the Dolphins or the Seattle Seahawks against the Jets. And then following football, it's the 1980 World Series, back where it belongs, right here with the proud Peacock. You'll see Game 5, the Phillies and the Royals, beginning at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So Sports World after our game today, and then NFL 80, football and baseball tomorrow afternoon. There's a delay in right field, that sign. They just are kind of anxious to get that sign on. They keep putting it down, and they keep asking them to take it off. Popped up in the infield, and there's one out. That sun is a factor. You saw UL flip the glasses. The shadow is now in front of home plate. There you see it. Some pitchers say, I don't want to throw anything but fastball. Others say they want to throw nothing but curveballs when they have a batter in the shadow. Manny Trio. It's a strike. Tom, when you were pitching and the hitter was in the shadows, what did you try to stay away from?
Just try to stay away from the ball upstairs. Keep it downstairs as much as you can. More difficult to see a ball downstairs than upstairs.
Time was called. A big beach ball came out of the bullpen area. And that's about the way the baseball's been looking to Willie Aikens, like a beach ball. Looks that way to, there's no pitch on that. There you see the bullpen. So it's strike one. I remember the late Paul Weiner talking about that. He said, when I'm hitting good, that ball looks like a basketball. When I'm not hitting, it looks like a baseball. I believe it. Right center field. This is going to be trouble. It's in for extra bases. Manny Trio rounds first. He's digging for second. They get that ball back into Frank White. These outfielders, they don't really waste any time. They just get that ball back in, and these Kansas City Royals line up. You remember in the championship series when Wilson overthrew, there you see Trio. When he overthrew, they were there trailing the plate. George Brett got the man at the plate.
High breaking pitch, Tom.
Manny Trio likes the ball up and out over the plate. He drives it up the alley in right center. The outfield here in Kansas City, very big, a lot of room in the alleys. A lot of room all the way back to the wall. Manny Trio made it to second easily. It looked, Tony, like he was grabbing his leg at second base.
Sure did. It slightly pulled a hamstring. He's still doing it, his right leg. You can see it, Tom. Good observation.
Strike
That's not
one.
going to help him, is it? He pulls a muscle.
One out, one strike. 5-1. Royals are leading. 7th inning. Outside. The outfield, they're in and shaded towards the left. Boa doesn't have too much power. There's a good shot of it. You can see how shallow they are. A lot of room in right center field. They do not expect Boa to pull the ball. One ball, 2 strikes. Quisenberry in the bullpen for Kansas City.
Tom, I don't think after the first game performance of Leonard, he should be tired going into this late part of the ball games. But any team you pitch against who's got the comeback potential of the Phillies, you got to throw every pitch with something on it. It means a lot.
He's thrown a lot of fastballs too, Tony. He's only thrown 75 pitches so far. We're in the 7th inning, which is a terrific number for 7 innings.
Down the left field line, it is a fair ball. Wilson, playing shallow, was able to keep Trio at third. There's a ball hit 4 feet, maybe not that far inside the line, but they had him played perfectly. And sometimes the scouting reports are laughed at, but there was a pretty good example of playing a man a certain way, pitching him that way, and getting it done.
Perfect example of that, Joe, no question about it. The book on Larry Bowa, pitch him away, play him away, and there's Willie Wilson right by the left field line. Holds Bowa at a single and holds Trio at third base.
I'll tell you, the way Brett reacted too, he really watched that runner at first base. Here it is, it scoots to the left with that English, and Willie Wilson got to that ball in a hurry. We told you about his throwing. I mean, it's not that strong, but on artificial surface, the ball gets to you a little quicker, and he has infield instincts. He's off, and that speed makes up for a lot because he gets to the ball a little bit quicker. Billy Connors leaves.
And there's Tug McGraw. He's been the workhorse of the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. He's seated on the bench right now. It's a 5-1 ball game. Royals are leading. We're in the 7th inning. These Phillies threatening. They came from behind in all their ball games in the championship series, postseason play. So 4 runs. Not that big a cushion. Bob Boone. Booney singled his last time up. Deep left center field. Wilson going way back, way back, way back. Makes the catch. Oh, what a catch. Trio scores 5-2. Sheer speed did that. Another great World Series catch. They'll be playing that back-to-back to Willie Mays. His catch off Vic Wertz. He simply outran that ball.
He excites you on the bases, at the bat, and he just did it on the field. When you figure where he was playing Boone, very shallow. Look where he started from and how far he had to go. He's battling the sun, a crosswind, and if that did not remind you of Mays' catch off Vic Wertz, nothing will. His speed is outstanding, Tom.
He looks absolutely like a split end here, Tony, and he was recruited for a football from Summit, New Jersey, and they said he was the best running back in his class east of the Rocky Mountains, and that's why the University of Southern California wanted him. He was a tremendous prospect for football.
Here's Lonnie Smith. There goes Bowa again. Here's the throw. They'll not get him. They're trailing by 3, but Bowa, who started the fire, takes off again, and he's got a stolen base. It's a 5-2 ball game. These Phillies.
He did it in game 1, down 4-0 off the same pitcher, Leonard, so he knows something about Leonard. Don't know if he's been able to pass it along to his teammates, but he knows something, a move that he's got. He's picked something up because he's doing it with such confidence. 3 runs down and 4 runs down in game 1.
He is 3 for 3 as far as stolen bases in the series. UL Washington has it. There's the throw. And as we go into the bottom of the 7th, Royals 5, Phillies 2, and that great catch by Willie Wilson certainly did remind you. How much does it remind you of Willie Mays? Take a look at this flashback, and you'll see that it's almost identical just a few years later.
Don Little on the mound for the Giants. The score tied 2-2, 2 men on. Vic Wertz at bat for Cleveland. There's a drive going to deep center field. After it is Willie Mays. He makes a spectacular one-handed grab inches from the wall. One of the greatest in series history as the Giants go on to sweep the series 4-0.
Sir, why did you buy a Ford Fairmont?
Well, as a mannequin salesman, I travel a great deal, and Fairmont gets even higher estimated MPG than Citation.
I see. How's the room?
Look for yourself. Loads of headroom and lots of legroom.
How about the trunk room?
Has more than K-Car.
And the sticker price?
Hundreds less than a comparably equipped Citation or K-Car. In short, Fairmont won't cost you an arm and a leg.
Ford Fairmont. It makes a world of sense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trouble spots like these are what separate Gillette Atra from all ordinary razors. The reason? The Atra pivot. It keeps the blades at a perfect shaving angle, giving you a better shave than any razor that can't pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many more reasons do you need? Gillette Atra. The pivot makes it better.
Gillette. When it comes to shaving, we give you the edge.
Great moments of 1980. Don't miss out on next year's great moments.
Baseball Fever. Catch it now for 1981.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball. Picturesque setting here in Kansas City Royals Stadium, heartland of America. Bottom of the seventh, 5-2, Kansas City leading. Here is Amos Otis. He has been a tremendous player in this series. He is 2 for 3 today. A double, single. Here comes another beach ball out of the left field area. George Thoma's crew policing it. I tell you, that Toma and his crew, they policed this carpet like it was in a living room. Listen to the fans with AO. Right center field should be no problem for Maddox. 1 out. And Merle Harmon is down with manager Bill Verdon, who thought he might be here. Let's go down to Merle.
All right, Joe, and a week ago today, Bill, you were involved in one of the most bizarre games probably in baseball history. A triple play that wasn't. Was the ball caught or not? Now, as you sit here and watch this game, are you thinking, hey, my team should be out there?
Well, I think the club that deserved to be out there is out there. They come back. They wouldn't be beaten. We played a good series, but they won the ballgame.
All right, now what's the key to who's going to win this thing?
Well, I think right now it's probably pretty even up. Take your pick. I got to root for Philadelphia. I know a little bit more about Philadelphia than I do Kansas City. Some of these pitchers from Kansas City club I haven't seen before, so I really intelligently can't pick a club, but I will root for Philadelphia.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. 1 out, back to the booth.
Okay, Merle, thank you, Bill Verdon. Isn't he something? Lose a tough series like that and say the team that deserved to win is out there. Nobody likes losing, but somebody has to lose. And those Houston players should be very proud. It is line foul down the third base line.
2 outs. Joe, the way the extra base hits were flying around here in the ball game, if you weren't keeping score, you would almost think that Kansas City's got about an 8-run lead. And it's really something. It's only 5-2.
Phillies have not been blown out at all. There is Ewing Kauffman, the owner, the late Ernie Mel and Earl Smith, who went to Ewing Kauffman and said, hey, we need a ball club in Kansas City. You got the money, let's open up the wallet. He did, and he is living a whole new life. He's enjoying it.
They pioneered a great organization here, Mr. Kauffman, with the Royal Lancers.
3 balls and 1 strike. Brewster, Warren Brewster. 5-2.
He has one. Excuse me, Joe. He has one of the most expressive face I've ever seen in a pitcher with that jaw.
Walked him. Porter is on, and it brings up UL Washington. Good crowd on hand. There's the left field area, that corner. Different angle. Look at the shadows. There's a good pictures of the factor that the shadows are here. They have really been creeping out and out and out. And when that pitcher's in sunlight and you're in the shade, that ball comes up looking like a barber pole spinning. Any trio, big hop. In time. So that ends the 7th inning. We complete 7 innings of baseball here. And it's the Kansas City Royals 5, the Philadelphia Phillies 2. And for the Phillies in the 8th inning, it'll be Pete Rose, Bake McBride, and Mike Schmidt.
Just when you think life is all it can be, you see the light and suddenly you're seeing more and more, and life is clearer than before. You can see the love light shining, and everything seems so bright. It's the light, it's GE, it's the light, and it's plain to see. We want to be the light side of your life. We want
rally leader. You out there, Chuck?
We're pedaling as fast as we can.
Everybody else is here. Where are you?
Well, we've got ourselves sort of a weight handicap.
How'd that happen?
You guys just brought the bread and cheese. We got a whole trunk full of Lowenbrow.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Well, we're glad you made it.
Who, us or the Lowenbrow?
On NBC Sports World, see the Michael Spinks Yaki Lopez Slugfest, the world's top bowlers and the legends of bowling, plus a World Series update later today.
Immediately following Sports World, there's a sign that was left over from the Columbus Day Parade.
They're my write-ins in November.
Kids looking for the Italian vote. His spelling was pretty bad, but I appreciate the sentiment. Pete Rose. And look at these Royals fans. Go Royals, #1 World Series. Well, they're well on their way to tying this series at 2 games apiece tomorrow. Gura against Bystrom. Left center field. It'll be extra bases. Willie Wilson slipped as the ball was hit, and Pete Rose has himself a double.
The man who has ignited more than one rally in his career, that's for sure, Pete Rose. It's been silence more or less in this series, but here's his first extra base hit, a double off the alley in left center field. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose.
Jim Fry has gone out to that mound, keeping in mind that these Philadelphia Phillies have been coming from behind. He is motion. He's going to make a change, Tom.
They don't wait very long with Dennis Leonard. One of the things that Dennis Leonard does when he gets tired, he begins to drop his elbow below his shoulder and gets underneath the slider, underneath his fastball. But he's going to get a great hand from the Royal fans.
So Dennis Leonard leaves. He gave him 7 tough innings, and he leaves with a man on second to score 5-2. Quisenberry coming in. We've got a break in the action. We'll be back.
Instant photography by Kodak and the big audition.
The cornucopia. It is a horn of plenty.
Hold it. Got the flash, Marvin?
Sure. It's Bill Trident.
Very good. Okay, next.
Fine crops of grain and fruit.
You're on, Louise.
Hi, Alexa.
Well, Marvin, what do you think?
I think all my pictures are great.
The Kodak Colorburst 250, the instant camera with built-in flash and brilliant color by Kodak.
You're feeling good about yourself. And it shows when you should about yourself.
You're feeling good about yourself. You're drinking Diet Pepsi-Cola with just 1 calorie and that great honest-to-Pepsi taste. And it shows in the way you look, the way you feel, and in everything you do. Diet Pepsi. 1 small calorie, 1 great taste.
Using this surgical fiber optic lens, Prestone Labs is going to show you what weak, neglected antifreeze can do to your radiator after only 9,000 miles. Look at these passages. Rust, corrosion, continued neglect could clog them and overheat this radiator. But look at a Prestone protected radiator after the same 9,000 miles. Quite a difference. Prestone has a patented silicone silicate formula to lock out rust and corrosion. Prestone 2 and Prestone Super Flush. No wonder we're #1.
I'm here with Audrey Leonard, and as you look at your husband down in the dugout right now, what are your thoughts?
I'm sure he's very happy with the results of the game. I mean, it's not over yet, but I think he's pitched a real good game, and I'm sure he's real happy.
Okay, you were in Philadelphia, right?
I sure was.
What happened after that ball game? Did you discuss it?
Dennis doesn't like to discuss the games. He never takes the games home. I take them home. That's probably why he doesn't take them home. He came back from the game. We had a lot of family there. He was real relaxed, and you can't look back at the past. And we sat down and we had a couple of drinks and just relaxed and laughed it all off. And we said we're going to go get him today.
Okay, Audrey, thank you so much. Now back to Joe.
Quisenberry against Bake McBride. Thank you, Merle. Audrey Leonard. There's a strike. He's the big man out of the bullpen for these Royals, and these fans react. McBride, who doubled his last time up. 5-2 is the score. Pete Rose at second base. Kansas City leading. One ball, one strike. Kansas City bullpen busy. There's Ken Brett. Two balls and one strike. 5-2. Keep in mind, if McBride gets on, the tying run will be in the batter's box, and that's Mike Schmidt, the on-deck batter. Mrs. Leonard said, Audrey Leonard, the game is not over. How well you've been watching. Bouncing ball foul. Ruben Amaro, I didn't see him do that. About 10, 15 years I watched him. Rose at second base. Quisenberry, calm. They say he had to work on his temper, and now he seems to have it under control. Easy going.
Jim Fry. He's got Brett in the bullpen. But Quisenberry was an overhand thrower, and he got in college, and he said he got a tired arm, shoulder, and he kept dropping down.
Bouncing ball to White. To first in time. Rose moves to third. There's one out. Brings up Mike Schmidt with Del Unser on deck.
The third baseman, Mike Schmidt.
Tom, I don't know why I get this feeling, but twice off Quisenberry, Schmidt has hit the ball hard, balls down and in. As far he's trying to go the opposite way on that sinker. I would like to see him change his pattern and go away.
I talked to Mike yesterday about that, and he said he tries to hit Kent Colby the same way. He tries to hit him up the right center field alley. Feels he can drive that ball, even look for the ball inside, and still is able to inside out the ball and drive it up the right field alley. There's a good shot from the center field camera to see how Quisenberry will work against Schmidt.
Also the shadows. Ball one. Phillies have come from behind 6 times in September, and all 5 of their postseason wins. As Tony mentioned yesterday, they've won 23 of their last 30 road games. It's popped up. Hurdle says, I'll take it. Rose is tagging up. Here he comes. Here's the throw. It is 5-3. Rose scores, and it's Royals 5, Phillies 3.
And Darrell Porter, who was standing in the third base line, got out of the way because Pete was not going to slide. Had that play been close, he was going to take a shot at Porter. Like he did, it was at Pujols in the championship series, Houston. Here comes Hurdle's throw. It was Bochy in the championship series. He was not going to slide at all, and Porter went out of the way and took a little swipe tag.
So 5-3 the score now, and here is Del Unser. Unser is 0 for 3. Low. It was Unser who got the big base hit off Quisenberry, hit it into left center field, went the opposite way. No strikes. Mike Schmidt drives in a run.
Unser's a much better hitter, Joe, when he goes with the ball. Tries to hit the ball up the left center field alley. When he tries to pull the ball, as he did earlier in the game today, he let the fly balls to right field. That's not the way Del hits.
Base hit to right field. Hit it hard. So he's on, and the tying run is at the plate. Gary Maddox. Kansas City bullpen busy again.
Carson, game 1. Kansas City had the lead. Quisenberry's the man who came in. They said he wasn't throwing hard, but I think the Phillies, he threw very well. Got 3 ground balls, the first 3 hitters he faced. And the Phillies hit some good pitches also. Unser was one of them who hit the ball the opposite way. But he couldn't hold him in game 1.
2 men out. Maddox single his first time up. Bounced out and popped out. Off the handle, Washington, a tough play. They get him. So Quisenberry does get the job done. And there is his lovely wife, Mrs. Quisenberry watching the game, seated next to Merle Harmon, who's in the section. Janie Quisenberry, and 5-3 is the score. Middle of the 8th, Royals leading. 2 up, Willie Wilson, Frank White, and George Brett.
I've got a nice business, but I'm no whiz at financial planning. Fortunately, my Connecticut General representative is. He sure comes through for me.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
My successful business became more successful after Connecticut General helped me work out a cash flow strategy. CG sure came through for me.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
Call us. We'll come through for you, too.
Introducing the new world car, Ford Escort, with better ideas from around the world at your fingertips. Road-hugging four-wheel independent suspension, front-wheel drive, precise rack and pinion steering, stabilizer bar for tight turns, new power-efficient engine for easy freeway cruising, and higher gas mileage ratings than Rabbit, Accord, Corolla hatchback. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
Tomorrow, start your day with NFL 80, followed by heavy-hitting AFC action featuring the Battling Bills versus the Never Say Die Dolphins. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Be a big day on NBC tomorrow, as you saw. It begins with NFL today. There's a shot of Kansas City skyline, beautiful countryside, ballpark in the jam parking lot. 42,363. What did I say? NFL 80, NFL today. NFL 80. All right. I tell you what. You begin with Brian Gumbel and stay with us all day. That's tomorrow. This afternoon, after this game, we're going to watch a pretty good fight. I know I'm going to watch it. Michael Spinks, St. Louis boy, against Yaki Lopez. There's a strike. 42,363, 17 less people than last night. Where are those 17 people? Boa in time. Wilson is out. A lot of talk today around the batting cage, or some talk was about Boa and that ball that was smashed at him last night. And there were always the brave souls who will second guess and say, he should have taken that one in the chest or taken it on the kneecap. Boy, I'll tell you, it's easy to talk when you haven't been in the arena. You have to react that quickly. It's very instinctive. There's a strike to Frank White.
I asked Larry about that. You know what he said, Tony? He's trying to get out of the way of it. I mean, as honest as he could be, I was trying to get out of the way of it. I don't blame him.
Foul ball. I can just hear those old ball players. All that money those guys are getting. Two strikes to count on White. Off the handle, foul ball. You know, home field advantage in basketball or football, I can understand it because the field is laid out. But I would think any home field advantage is what you said, batting last and the crowd. Knowing your park, the park as we're looking at it right now, the team was tailored for it. Joe Burke, the president of the ball club, John Sherholz, player personnel. They wanted speed to cover the alleys and take advantage of artificial surface, base stealing and base speed. There he is, the franchise on deck, George Brett. Didn't mean to swing, right to Trio. 2 up, 2 down. George Brett has hit the ball hard 3 times, has 1 base hit. Brett, 1 for 4, and he's made some good plays in the field. Trio to his right, beautiful play, the throw in time. What a play by Manny Trio. He took a cinch base hit away from Brett. Only that strong arm, Tony, can he make a play like that? Well, all we need here is Doug Flynn from the Mets,
Willie Randolph from the Yankees. We'd have about the 4 best second basemen in the game. Trio and White have really put on a show.
So, at the end of 8, Royals 5, the Phillies 3. In the top of the 9th, the Phillies will send up Trio, Boa, and Boone.
Here's to good friends. Tonight
Hey,
is
Phil,
kind of special.
I thought you were taking us to dinner.
I
am. Okay, where is it? You're standing on it. What? Hey, a clam bake.
I suppose you got Lowenbrow, too.
Yep.
You want the taste of a truly great American beer. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Phil, that was fantastic. Hey, I only take my friends to the best places.
This is for you. An invitation to pivot. This is the Gillette Atra Invitation Razor. Its twin blades keep the perfect shaving angle because of this, the Atra Pivot. It gives you a better shave than any razor that can't pivot. And now you can pick up this Gillette Atra razor for under $1.50. But hurry, this offer to pivot is for a limited time only, so run out before we do.
Joe Garagiola with Tony Kupek. Tom Seaver here at Royals Stadium. This is game 4. The Royals are leading 5-3. 5 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors for Kansas City. 3 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Phillies. As you see, the shadows have creeped to in front of the mound. The 9th inning trio, Boa and Boone.
You would think that you would rather not have, or you'd rather have the last 3 guys in the lineup up against you in the 9th inning, but they have been very productive in this World Series. Trio, Boa, and Boone. Been on base 5 times today, and a couple runs scored and sacrifice fly.
Trio scored twice. He was safe on a forceful play. Went to second on an error. He doubled and scored in the 7th. Boa, an RBI. 1 hop to Brett. 1 out. As this builds up, you're going to hear an eruption. Boa singled and drove in a run in the 2nd. He flied to right in the 5th. He singled and stole a base in the 7th. Brett moving in at 3rd. Strike 1. Aikens in at the corner at 1st. Brett in at the corner at 3rd. 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Nobody on. Kansas City 5, Phillies 3. That's Janie Quisenberry looking on as our man tries to nail it down. He did it 33 times during the season. Here's a tough play. Foul. Janie just almost clenching her teeth. She's under as much tension as her man, but she can't do much more than she's doing. Sitting, watching, and hoping. And laughing.
Nervously.
Foul ball. The wife. Mostly in the background, playing wife and mother during the day hours, coming out the ballpark and having to be Miss Glamorous baseball wife. Super ladies. White. 2 outs. is what Martinez and Fry are pointing to Brett. The crowd, like in Philadelphia, they will broadcast an umpire for you.
Something a little bit unusual, though. You've seen it before, Joe. Quisenberry pitching from the stretch with nobody on. Obviously, Fry and Connors have gotten with him, and he's a little bit more comfortable from the stretch, if you notice.
He is. Ball one. Foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dallas Green. Once again, Jimmy Fry saying, watch the bunt. I don't know if he showed enough appreciation for that play that Frank White just made on Bo, who slaps and runs. That was a good play.
Two balls in the strike. Most of the crowd standing. Kansas City wins this game. This World Series is tied at 2 apiece. Gura for Kansas City, Bystrom for the Phillies tomorrow. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. There's Rose. Says it all for the Philadelphia side. Kansas City bench. Bouncing ball. You'll hear it. Home run in the first. Tomorrow it's Bystrom versus Gura. Joe Garagiola for Tony Kubek and Tom Seaver saying so long. Kansas City 5, Philadelphia 3. Game 4 of the 1980 World Series has been brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invite you to test drive the new 1981 Ford cars and trucks. And by GE. At GE, we bring good things to life. And by Lowenbrau. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. And by Gillette, makers of Right Guard. Yes, men count on Right Guard because men perspire more. Tomorrow on NBC Sports NFL football, you'll see regional coverage. Buffalo Bills at Miami are the Seattle Seahawks with the New York Jets, both preceded by an inside look at pro football on NFL 80. And then it's Game 5, the World Series. Gura against Bystrom. Stay tuned for Sports World. Michael Spinks against Jockey Lopez live in a 10-round light heavyweight bout next on NBC.